I feel like I don't have that voice, like radio voice.
The hot voice.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just mine's just like monotone, low.
Yeah.
Well, today's
that's
your chance to
okay.
get hot.
Yeah.
Let's get hot.
Get hot.
Let's
Get
real hot, guys. Come on. All right.
you
That's a
don't cut
perfect
that out.
intro to the All Grit
keeping it.
podcast number 6. You can tell by our faces this is where this podcast is going to go. So welcome. We're back. Excited to do this one. We got AJ Nicely and Justin Reidelbach with us today, Melissa's teammates from semifinals. Thanks for coming down, fellas.
Glad to be
So,
here.
as always, before we get in, your chance for any gym news.
The only gym news is the Trident Games, October 28th and 29th. We will be releasing workouts. Maybe not full workouts, but snippets next week. I'm going to record some of these two to kind of post about what we're going to have and what you should work on. So just be on the lookout for that. Other than that, demo's going really well at the other place. Hopefully are done with that in a few weeks. Hopefully we're going to beat our October 1st goal. But if you haven't been in there, go by. Well, whoa. It's a mess, but it looks so much bigger. We're going to have a lot more space. I'm excited to see it all come together. But that's all I got.
I can tell it's going to be big.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize how much space those walls that stuck out took.
Yeah.
But I will
Managing a class is going to be hard.
I'll be honest, the other night, I didn't mop. I'm like, why?
Wow. I have mopped twice a day, every day this week.
I didn't know where to
I cannot
start.
stand it. Oh, well, yeah, that's fair.
It's just the front room, right? You took out the front walls in the front room.
Did you move the bathrooms?
No. But we
Just
cut
cut
down a
those
couple
extra
of
walls, how
walls.
they stuck
Yeah.
out.
It's like
It's kind of hard to
wide
relocate the
open.
bathroom, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would take way more money than we want to spend. But
Cool.
it's going along good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So it's time for Would You Rather. After I went through all the dirty ones and got something that was allowed on YouTube. All right. Okay. So as always, I like to go with you first. All right. All right.
God.
So,
Stress.
would you rather have your name tattooed on your forehead or have no front teeth?
I'd rather have my name tattooed on my forehead. I can cover it up with makeup.
No. You
Yeah.
gotta rock it. You
Dark-
can't get dentures and you can't cover it.
Look, I mean,
Dark black.
it's 2023, and I feel like that's kind of acceptable now. So I'd rather have my name tattooed on my forehead.
Well, you could probably have no front teeth depending where you live too, like West
Jesus.
Virginia.
Wait, if you have no front teeth, you could just get fake teeth.
No, no
No.
fake teeth.
No fake teeth.
That's
yeah.
how you gotta live.
So you can't have fake teeth.
No.
And you can't cover it up with makeup.
No.
Okay, I definitely would rather have a nice smile.
You could talk like that?
Put your tongue through it.
Either way, your first impressions are going to be
Bad.
way worse than they are now.
All right, go ahead, AJ.
Oh, well, I mean.
You can wear a hat too. You can always cover it up.
I always got the hat on, but I would have to go with the tattoo. I don't know if I could change it and like put the tat this way maybe, so it's like
Sure.
covered up by the beard. But yeah, I go with tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo.
I'm doing tattoo because
Yeah.
I mean I got them anyway. So
Yeah, it's already
might
it
as
fits
well.
with you anyway.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, last week was a tennis ball or a watermelon size head. That was pretty funny.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Since you guys are here, would you rather have a head the size of a watermelon or the head the size of a tennis ball?
All right, is the watermelon faced this way? or
Yes,
is it faced
absolutely.
this way?
No.
Wide. Hey Arnold, yes.
Long
Yes.
Oh god, dude! Because that reminds me of Men in Black,
Yep.
like the Men in Black little tiny heads.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
I would
remember
say
that?
watermelon head because it's more of a presence.
Hell no.
The
That
little
shit
head
was-
is just like
You want a
also
tennis
your-
ball head?
Also, your voice
Yeah,
would be
I'm
super
taking-
squeaky.
nah.
Yeah, squeaky, yes.
Same voice.
Same voice, no.
Yeah,
She
same
came up with
voice.
this, and everybody agreed. She would pick watermelon head because
It'll affect my
Otherwise,
eating.
it would affect her
I'll
eating.
tell you why, because the watermelon head's gonna get in the way of bar muscle ups and stuff like that.
You're not gonna be able to
No.
see the
Look,
bar,
I won't-
AJ.
Watermelon head because your mouth is naturally going to be bigger.
Bigger.
And you eat more
Dude.
food.
You
and
eat
we
more.
like
No
food.
shot.
This is
If
the
you're-
size of your head right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could see past my head on the worm. If you were the watermelon head, I'd be like, dude, get your
Look,
head out of the way.
You're also sacrificing several inches in height. Remember that.
Ooh, yeah, because then you would really be 6
Yeah.
foot.
Well,
If you're a watermelon head, you'd be taller. If you're a tennis ball head,
everyone knows you'd be faking it with your tough big old head.
a big old brain in there. A lot of thoughts.
same size brain.
You can see past me on the worm.
Same size brain for my little.
Since you
tennis
said the
ball.
brain, right? That brings me to another one. This is my backup one.
Oh
but
my
we'll do it anyway.
gosh.
All right. Would you rather be hilariously funny but stupid,
My God.
or funny as hell, or I'm sorry, yeah,
Yeah, funny as hell, but
funny
stupid.
as hell but stupid,
Well, we're not
or
within 5
boring
minutes.
as hell, but dumb as a box of rocks?
Wait, so
No,
you're
or be
boring
smart.
and dumb?
Smart.
No,
Yeah, smart. Boring and smart,
Oh, okay.
or
Smart.
funny and stupid.
Okay.
funny and stupid. I feel like that's what I am most days.
I feel like you can be funny and stupid and get along with people and have a good life. And
Agreed.
Like, have a lot of friends. And if you're
Yeah.
boring and really smart, you could probably be successful and eventually become someone who has a lot of friends. But if
You'd be like
They're-
Bill
if you
Gates.
forever have to be
Ooh.
boring and you can never be interesting, that would
Yeah,
suck.
it's not fun.
Yeah, and if we're all, if we all can be professional CrossFitters, then
We
why
wouldn't
do you-
need
why
to
do you
be
care
smart.
We got
Yeah.
Tristan. Shout out
Yeah,
Tristan.
no, we don't even need to
You just
worry.
gotta have somebody to count for you, because what rep are you on? I don't know.
No, you have very dependable judges.
Yes.
Yeah.
And somebody to tell you what to do next, because you won't be able to remember. All right, so let's get into background. So AJ, I'm gonna let you go first. Tell us about yourself, man.
All right, let's see. So from Richmond, Virginia. Shout out Cammie and Tony nicely for
The best people.
Yeah, for being the best parents there are. They were super supportive, for me doing anything. So grew up playing sports, mainly baseball, football. In high school, I got more so into baseball, transferred schools, and my dad was always super into lifting, super into fitness. I guess my whole family really.
Like Globo Gym lifting, just working
Yeah,
out.
dude, he was like into like the Arnold stuff. Like he was huge.
Right.
So
Tony was you?
yeah,
Tony,
dude,
yeah, I know, I was like,
freaking-
what?
I remember going to, it wasn't anything crazy serious, but it was like YMCA, like it was like a bench off and like
Did he win?
strongman stuff. I don't know if he won because I was so young,
Yeah.
but he got a trophy with a plate on it. So like a
Nice.
45-pound plate.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
was
I want
like,
a picture of Tony, and I want to
Definitely-
attach it to the podcast.
dude, definitely slanging weight. So
Let's go.
Pop it up in the, in the
Yeah,
video.
yeah,
Yeah.
in like our clips, it's gonna be
He-
just the first thing that you
He
see.
kind of gives off the vibe of someone who was
yeah,
who's
definitely.
Yeah.
pretty big
So
dude back
Yeah.
in the day.
definitely. So that has been like bred into me. Kind of taking a step back, just like my whole family. Probably why I'm so competitive, but my whole family went to school for sports. So
Okay. Were you only child?
no, my sister too. So Emily, she was big into field hockey, lacrosse. She killed it in high school as well. So it wasn't really an option in my family. It was kind of like
Just
you're
something you
definitely
do?
gonna,
Pick
you're definitely
something.
gonna play sports.
Yeah.
So which I'm gonna do with my kids as well. So I very much appreciated that. We actually, weirdly enough, fun fact, we had a sports camp. My grandfather ran a sports camp when I was growing up.
Oh, cool.
It was only for kids in our family. Yeah, so he called it Papa Sports Camp. He had a basketball court in his
Aw.
backyard, and I think it more so probably to give our parents a little break. But but we would go up there. He'd run basketball, running, kayak. I mean everything. I mean since I can't even remember. So
Kayak in the backyard.
dude, he lived on a lake.
What?
Big baller. Yeah. So yeah, it was really cool. Fast forward, college. Went to Christopher Newport in 2013. Played baseball there. Got to toot my own horn. Play all 4 years.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, was really fortunate to go there. Coach Harvell, if you're listening to this, appreciate you.
What position did you play?
I played center field my first 2 years, and then I had a terrible accident. And jumped. I was sober. Let's throw that out there. Stone cold sober.
It is
I was-
college, so-
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
Walking home from campus with a buddy of mine, actually in the military, just catching up. Haven't seen him. And my house was on the other side of railroad tracks at Port Warwick.
Yeah.
And I ended up jumping in this spot that I didn't typically, jump at because it cut down the commute so much if we just went across the railroad tracks. And I actually landed on a T-post and cut my leg from like my knee all the way up to my hip. So if you
Is that why you have the tattoos?
Sometimes the scar will pop out, but had like 30-something external and 20+ internal stitches.
Was that one of those cases where like you got stuck on the post?
It
Oh my
literally
God, oh my gosh.
Like it literally cut my leg like a butter knife, and like I was laying on the ground. It was pitch black, so I couldn't see. My other buddy was on the other side of the fence, And I get my flashlight out, and the meat is just hanging out of my jeans. Like literally, like I'm not joking. Like, and I wasn't tough at all. I'm literally like screaming. I'm like,
I wasn't tough at all.
My leg
But like
is
your
broken.
adrenaline's hitting in like at some point.
Yeah. So I was like, I thought my leg was broke. It wasn't. So my buddy Brendan, being the good friend he was a corpsman. So he.
Oh, you lucked out,
Yes.
dude.
So
He was what?
A corpsman, so he was a
Navy
medic
corpsman.
in the
So he was a
Navy.
medic, yeah. So he literally gets on top of the fence, and he could actually see this like patch of bushes, and he jumped in the bushes so he didn't hit another T-post. Sorry, I'm going off topic here, but yeah, he
This is
gets
interesting.
cool
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
to me, and so I'm crying, and I'm freaking out, and he's like, we got to call 911. So we call them, and they're like, we have no idea where you are. I don't know where I am. I'm literally like in the back of someone's yard on the railroad tracks, and I can't get back over the fence.
Yeah, I can't walk.
So my buddy Brendan literally grabs my phone, hangs it up, is like, we're walking to the hospital. So we walked down the railroad tracks to Riverside Hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he carry you or you walked?
No, literally like, and he tied the tourniquet on this leg, so I'm like walking,
Shut up.
walking with a sweatshirt on this arm or this leg.
Wow.
Call my parents the next morning, get there, one, and they're like, you're in the wrong wing of the hospital.
You're like, are you
We're like,
serious?
"Dude, what? So we
Can
get
you
in
just
a-
roll me
gets-
to the right
right.
wing?
Gets
Damn.
me in
Can I
a
get a
wheelchair
wheelchair,
and
please?
just is running me down the halls. I used to have a Snapchat. I deleted my Snapchat, so I don't got it anymore. But yeah, call my parents the next morning. I'm like, scratched myself pretty bad. Like,
Scratched
come up.
myself.
I don't want to freak them out, so
Right.
I'm like, and then
little
gets up there
scratch.
and they're pissed. Or my mom came up. She's
I bet she was
pissed.
upset.
Yeah, went home, and then long story short, then fast forward out of school, 2017, and my cousin, who was really big into rowing, younger than me, she was about to go to the Naval Academy.
Talking about Cali?
Yeah, Callie, and she's like, you got to come with me and check this out. I found like CrossFit, and I think you'll like it. Kind of fits in line with our family and whatnot. So I was like, okay. So I went to James River CrossFit there and checked it out and fell in love with it. I mean, basically immediately. And ever since then, I'm sure we'll get more into the CrossFit stuff. But ever since then, it's been kind of.
What got you hooked on it right away? The competitive thing or the intensity?
So James River CrossFit is definitely a smaller CrossFit gym in Richmond, but it was doing competitive sports again probably because once you get out of college, athletics, it was like something was missing. So I found that, and there were a couple good athletes in there. I mean, Callie alone, she was CrossFit team at Naval Academy, so she pushed me enough. But just having that drive, trying to beat people and better myself, and all these crazy skills like snatching. And I remember snatching for the first time. Oh my god!
I would love to see a
That shit
video.
was embarrassing.
I remember it too.
Yeah.
So what was after your leg injury? So did you not play baseball again?
So, all right. So I actually did that on my sister's birthday, October 28th, 2016. And the training team at CNU literally, God bless them. I mean, they had me in the water, doing treadmill in the water.
That's so nice.
I went to them probably a few hours a day doing physical therapy and whatnot. Actually played that year. And played that season and was all conference.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Dude, that's awesome that they did that for you because
Yeah.
they didn't have to.
Agreed.
You didn't,
Yeah.
it's not like you did it while playing.
No,
Yeah.
They did
Yeah.
not have to do that. They were a blessing. My mom, I have it. She was like, dude, I didn't think you were going to walk again.
Aww.
So, it was bad. So, I'll show you the picture offline.
Heck yeah, man. I wanna see it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
pretty
crazy.
gnarly.
It's gnarly.
Sure, it looked like a
Dude,
beat up flank steak.
Dude, it was gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
man.
pretty good meats in there. It looked
Yeah.
like,
So
nice
do
leg.
you still live in Richmond?
No.
I heard you moved.
No. So I actually switched jobs. What was that? Probably right before
4 months ago?
Right before we
Yeah.
were going to semifinals,
Okay.
and broke the
Yeah.
news on them that I was going down
Right
to St.
before we left.
St.
Like a
Augustine,
week or two before we
Florida.
left.
yeah.
I'm training out of Triforce down there, like just on Saturdays, but completely built out my garage. So
Hooked it
I
up.
mean, I have everything in there. I
Yeah.
got like a rope hanging from like we cut out like a hole in the ceiling
So you can
and
crawl through the ceiling.
crawling through the ceiling. It's just like I'm not slowing down. I was like, we're getting better this year, so just went all in. So
Right
to
on,
say.
man. Do
Yeah.
you like it down there though?
I do. It is probably about 140 degrees when you're like in a garage or not on
So
the
here's
coast.
the trick. What I did is I put in one of those split AC units in my
Wow.
garage. I
Okay.
had to because both the kids were always because it was during COVID.
Oh,
Winter,
I
it's
didn't think
cold as
about that.
crap.
And that's why you got rid of the
Summer,
fan,
it's
okay.
hot.
Yeah.
And like I even put like an exhaust fan in, thinking
Yeah.
it would help. I had that fan in there, didn't do nothing. So I was trying to figure out a way to put in a window AC, something. There's no windows in
Yeah.
the garage, so I was gonna cut a hole.
Oh my gosh, great.
Right, I was in there with a
Straight inside
chainsaw,
the
like getting
house.
ready to
You tried to
cut
take
a
out
hole
the
through the
house,
wall. And no, I just bought one of those split AC units, man. And like
They're
like
not that
900
expensive, yeah.
Everything I need is about $900, man.
Really?
Game changer, dude.
Yeah.
That's a good
I gotta
idea.
look into that.
But
Then.
yeah,
Let's
you
do it.
I've thought
definitely
about
need
that a lot.
to.
After we're done, I'll show you what I got ordered off
Oh, yeah,
Amazon.
you do,
It's
yeah.
worth it's worth it,
I've
dude.
got a
But you
garage
have
unit.
windows in your
I do
garage,
have
right?
windows. I
Yeah.
can do AC unit.
Yeah.
Because
Although
I
that
got
would
like
be
a 60-inch TV in there too. So if I want to go out in football season, I'll go out there and watch football.
That's what
you
I'm
know, it's
talking
just
about.
another place
Hey,
to
you could
hang
do your
out.
zone too, watching TV.
Yep.
I did that this
I've done
morning.
that.
Put on SportsCenter.
You got a TV out there?
It's like a little 32-inch TV.
I
We
know, I
literally
didn't see
trained
that.
out there
Yeah, I
for
didn't
a
see that.
year in there last
above the
year.
whiteboard.
Him and I
It's above
grinded.
the
I ain't never
whiteboard.
seen a TV in there.
AJ doesn't look at the whiteboard.
You're gone now. You bought a TV.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Who helped you get that gym set up?
What do you mean?
I give you the email
yeah.
with all the details.
Yes, he did.
I don't get any
Shout out
credit for
Papa
that.
Bear. Yeah, he definitely.
First
hooked
person
me
he
up.
came to, hey,
Yeah.
send me all the links
I
for the
did.
gym stuff.
Wait, I think where were we going? Oh, we were on the plane then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were on a
Oh,
plane.
that's a
Let
good
me just
idea.
throw this out there real quick. Justin's before COVID, he got to get this, so he lucked out. He has literally everything in his garage gym, which is
Yeah.
beautiful. And I'm pretty sure I still spent like double what he spent because of Rogue is crazy and the Shackler
Yeah.
prices. of
Yeah.
Shipping alone.
Yeah,
It's
free
crazy.
Shipping is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, right on. All right. Go ahead, man. Your turn.
All right. Grew up in Richmond, born in Richmond, raised in Richmond. Haven't spent my whole life in Richmond. I moved around a lot when I was a kid. Moved around. I lived in Florida. I lived in Wisconsin for a while.
Just because of the employment your parents had or whatever?
No, my family was not military
Okay.
at all. It was just very unstable.
Okay.
Put it
Gotcha.
that way. Yeah, my parents were both addicts, in and out of prison, pretty much all of my life growing up. So every time we moved, it was because we were living with other family members, living with friends.
Just trying to survive.
Just trying to
Yeah.
survive, hang on. So it wasn't until I got to middle school, and I have a twin sister. My twin sister and I moved in with my aunt Fran, who is my mom's sister, and she didn't have any kids of her own, no husband, just single, and just took us in and raised us from high school, put us into college, and we would come back there in the summers. That's so my aunt's house in Richmond is like what I call home,
Right.
because it's the first long term,
Yeah.
solid, stable. But obviously it was crazy living with her, having to raise two twins who were 12, 13 years old.
Right.
Crazy.
Just poof, you
calling
got
her at
kids.
work,
Yeah.
fighting, yeah, but anyway, so growing up was very unstable until that point. And I was always in sports, even before all that. I was in elementary school, I played soccer. Elementary school, I played basketball. In middle school, I played basketball, soccer again, and then football came later in middle school and into high school. Obviously, I played all 4 years in high school, and then I got recruited. Actually, I got injured my senior year. I was getting recruited my junior year. I got injured my senior year and stopped getting some of those letters from the better schools.
What position? Defensive end?
Tight end.
Okay.
Tight end, linebacker. High school, I played middle linebacker. Started both ways. Played tight end. So when I got recruited at CNU, it was actually for both positions. So, and I pretty much got to choose when I got there. They were I had the defensive guy begging me to come play for them.
Yeah.
The offensive line coach is also the tight end coach. Wanted me to play tight end, so I could block, I could catch. So it was and I wanted to. My whole thing with deciding on what to play was I wanted to score touchdowns. I wanted to catch the ball. I wanted to make plays.
This guy.
I couldn't imagine.
until
Touch and go
after-
315.
I would have picked defense because I want to hurt people.
Well, see, the thing is,
He's
like,
soft, man.
Big teddy bear.
after college, I always kind of thought about that. What if I probably would have been on the line like DN. I think would have put me, but I would have loved to play DN, like just coming off the line, like full speed. But I also played fullback for a little bit. I'm 6'1". I was 230 in college, so I was too tall to play fullback because you're literally behind the ball.
That's the best
hitting the
position there
defensive
is.
end on power. We were a power run team, so like it was constant, like just
Pounding.
smacking the defensive end.
Yeah.
So that took a toll on me my sophomore year. I switched to tight end after that and started for 2 years. Loved football. And then similar to AJ, I graduated, didn't have anything competitive in my life. I started gaining weight because I was eating like I was at Santora or the Commons.
Yeah, Santoro, yeah.
So I gained some weight. So I was like, I need to do something about this. I started running. I had like some steel plates in the garage where we were living in Newport News. So Erin, my wife, she's a nurse and she was in school at Riverside, and she actually one of her nursing like coworkers or students, colleagues or whatever, she started CrossFit and had her go into the gym and try it out. And then like 3 weeks later, she's like, you would really love this. I think we were sitting at like Nsuboko right there by CNU, and we were all having dinner, and she's like, you should try this CrossFit thing. And I was like, I remember sitting across from her and be like, I don't really know. Like, I kind of like my running and lifting in the gym thing. I'm
Wow,
going right now.
you're running.
Dude, he almost missed out.
And I was running a lot. I started losing some weight, so I was feeling good. And then I was like, whatever, I'll just try it. And literally, I walked in the first day, absolutely loved it, fell in love with it. And it was because of the competitiveness. Everybody was like, they were in the middle of a workout when I got there, and they were trying to like finish to the buzzer. They're going to the buzzer, trying to beat each other. And then we had like local comps they would throw there, and I would participate in those. CrossFit Hampton Roads. It's off like
Is it still there?
I think it's still there.
Is
for
it?
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I remember there was a guy, Travis Maples. He actually lives in Richmond now. He was the guy. He was another big guy like me, and he went to CNU. I think he played. I don't know if he played a sport or not, but he was just like me. So I was like, and he was better than me at the time. So I was like, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
So having someone else that I kind of looked up to was kind of cool. And then when I got good, me and him started competing, and like we'd have local comps, and we would throw down. So that's how I got into CrossFit. My wife. And then
I did not know that. I'll have to give Erin a lot more credit.
yeah,
now.
she did it for a while, and then she stopped. And then I started going to CrossFit RVA, and knew a couple people there that I either went to high school with or whatever, or just knew because I lived in Richmond and grew up in Richmond. And we were talking about this earlier. I did my first competition, was a scaled competition for Superfit Richmond. Was the
Yes!
All right, we got to come back
Jamie-
to that, by the way.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. But just real quick, I
There's
did
more
my
to
first
this.
competition was a scaled comp for Superfit Richmond, and my buddy Nick Reed and I won that. And then since then, we couldn't do any more scaled competitions. It was like
My first comp, we won.
Hey, I did that too. I was told
Was
to
that
do
the Oyster
it.
Point one?
Well, no, it was the grit one.
Yeah, grit,
And
yeah,
the
yeah.
owner's like, no, you guys, it was a 4-person.
Yeah.
Just do scaled.
Wow.
And it was super fun though, probably because it was super easy.
Easy.
So yeah, as soon as I was kind of fully into it, started working with a nutritionist in 2018, which was the Superfit Championship. It was the last year they did Superfit.
Yeah.
They would hold competitions throughout the year, and then you gain points based on your finishing position.
Yeah.
So I qualified as an individual for like the championship for the men's division.
Did you have to do multiple comps for that, or did you
Yeah.
only have to do one?
You had to do enough to get enough points.
Gotcha,
If you
gotcha.
did one, and then but like 5 other people or however many did multiple and placed well, then you could bump. But yeah, you had to at least do, I would say, like a couple and
Yeah.
finish well. And then I think if you qualified, he was going to do something if you kept it going where if you qualified the previous year, you get automatic qualification
Oh,
or something
nice.
like that. But anyway, the year before that, I actually judged at the championship. So that was kind of cool, seeing both sides of it and being like motivated by those guys that I looked up to, like Ryan Reeves, Brandon Brickner, Kenny Younger, who played football at Tech. Those are all guys that I was like looking up to, seeing them in the Superfit stuff.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then fast forward a little bit, I started working with a nutritionist in 2018 and really started seeing the benefits, like full circle, like the recovery and the nutrition and the lit and the CrossFit and like how everything comes together and it can be a really healthy lifestyle. So I was like, let's do this. And then I joined CrossFit RVA. I started getting more competitive as I started getting better. I think around 2018, 2019, spent a lot of time training. I built my garage gym in this house and my last house. I've had a garage gym for the past like 6 years. So I'd always have like teamers on Saturdays.
Yeah, it's beautiful, by the way.
Yeah. Like you said before COVID, I got everything. So I had like the rower, I had the rig, I had the mats, I had everything. And then COVID hit and people were like scrambling to get gym equipment, and I just lucked out because it was right before.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I wanted a place to train. If I knew that if I wanted to get better and be at the level I wanted to be at, I had to be able to train whenever I could.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the idea of the garage gym. And it's been awesome. Obviously, it's helped. But so having the gym, having people work out there, I had when Hannah Hardy, she used to live in Charlottesville, Richmond area. I worked out with her a ton, and we did a lot of comps together. We did a lot of Palooza. We qualified for go to the sanctionals and semifinals. Actually competing at elite level. My first competition was MAC when they were sanctional, and then the next year that was with Hannah, and then the next year we also qualified for Wadapalooza, and then the next year was the COVID year where
And this was all training out of the garage.
This is all training out of the garage. I trained at CrossFit RVA before I had Harper, who's 2.5 now. When I had Harper,
Sweetheart.
and during COVID, it was like a lot of
life change.
Yeah, life change. A lot of time, more time at home. I had to be at home, so I had to spend more time training in the gym. And so I qualified during the COVID year. I qualified as an individual for Atlas Games. You got to basically choose if you qualified what you wanted to do, what semifinal you wanted to go to. So I chose the virtual one because it was easier for me as a new dad.
Got another funny story about
That was
that.
also my first time being training at Sogo. They let me, Rachel and Kayla let me use their facility to film everything for the qualifiers and for the semifinal workouts. And then the next year, that's because I was at Sogo, the next year we did, AJ and I qualified with them for semifinals, and then obviously this past year we qualified again. So the last 5 years, I've been able to individually or with a team qualify for a semifinal, just haven't made it to that next step, which is qualifying for.
Yeah, that's happening next year.
So
let me ask you, since you do it too, do you prefer to train in the garage by yourself, or would you prefer to train in the gym?
Oh, I'm glad. I want to know this too.
I think it depends right now.
Depends on who you're with.
Yeah, I think it depends on who I'm with. It's definitely been different this year because, this is the first year I'm using an individual coach, specifically programming for myself. So it's really nice having my garage gym where I can go in there and work on things that I'm not good at. And, I can practice it 100 times and not have to worry about irritating someone or, looking like an idiot or whatever it may be.
Do you feel like you go as hard doing that, or would
Yeah.
you go harder if that same programming was in a class?
No, there will be times where, I will be, I'll finish an interval or something, rowing interval or, something like that. Or even he had me dying on a C2 bike, and I'll full on crawl back into the house because I'm I'm in pain.
I noticed the other day you were working out and you're in the garage in your video and your door to your house was open. I was like, AJ, you're letting the AC out.
That's called, me trying to cool down so I don't die. When I said it's 140 in there,
I was
it's
like, oh my
140.
God.
Yes.
What about you, Justin?
yeah, I go much harder if I'm with a group of people or training with him in a workout. I would go much harder, and I've definitely found myself training at home. Sometimes I'll do a workout and I feel like, man, I could have done better.
Yeah.
I could have gone harder. It's just because I don't have that atmosphere.
That's a different level to be able to do that. You see old videos of Fraser when he was down in his garage.
Yeah.
And Paige, my daughter, was the same way. She can go all out by herself.
Yeah.
I have to be in the perfect mindset to go all out by myself.
Yeah, I like that. You have to be it's the mindset. I agree.
For me too, it's being under pressure and having that atmosphere is where I thrive.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I
starting
can
with
just
football too.
I can just shut it out and it's almost I call it blackout. You don't hear the music, you don't hear anything. You hear your team, you hear, focus on what you're doing, and that just at MAC the one year we did. That was the first year I was at a sanctional, I hit the 375 clean and jerk in front of that crowd, and it was like I completely blacked out.
Did you hear
I had people
anything? Like-
I like as close as you.
Yeah.
Because the stands were right there, and we were facing them. So I came up out of my clean. I was looking people right in the face. They were yelling at me like, "Come on!" So like
Oh my
that whole
gosh,
atmosphere, and then,
that's crazy.
And then being able to hit it, I still get chills just talking.
Yeah.
About it. But being able to like hit it and then like experience that, and the crowd going crazy and everything, and the announcers, like that's just that hypes me the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Like seriously.
It's awesome. And I think that's the pull that a lot of people get from CrossFit. I think you either, I'm not saying if you don't get this, you'll never stick with CrossFit, but I think because mine was the same way. Granted, we were on a ship and it was a crazy setup, but I knew after doing one workout, I'm like, this was freaking cool. Like I have never been obliterated like this.
Yeah.
I just feel decimated after.
Let's come back and do it
15
again.
minutes.
And it's
we
and
go
it's,
back and do it again.
It's such a cool sport too because it's like the only sport where, I mean, there's people you could get programming if you're a runner and have a coach and all that, or if you're just a bodybuilder, and people plan their workouts out and just go in the gym and do their thing. But that's what I love about CrossFit is like you come in, especially if you follow a program like we're all doing now. You know what you have to do. You get in, get out, get it done. On to the next day, on to the next thing. Right now, outside of college and like collegiate sports, when you're getting it's a structure and you're getting told what to do all the time, like, that's the next closest thing.
Yeah.
And it's not really that expensive, like relatively speaking.
For what you get.
Yeah, for what you get out of it. Exactly. Yeah, value.
Yeah, if as a bodybuilder or someone just going to like a Gold's every day, you have your headphones on, you're by yourself. If that's how you thrive, that's where you thrive. That's great.
Send it. Yeah.
But I'd rather be in a gym with people doing the same thing and loving doing what they love, just like I'm doing. And being able to joke around the whole time.
There is the social aspect, like when you're Globo Gym, and you might talk to people, but you don't really hang out and talk.
Yeah.
You can't get 10 people to come in the Globo Gym and do curls together. It's not the same.
Nope.
But you all could
Join up and do a bro
That would be
sesh.
great to see, though.
just doing.
Okay,
You
guys.
should go to Planet Fitness and make one and try to get kicked out. We could. I bet you could go to Planet Fitness after
We could
this.
do that,
10 minutes, we're out.
We're done.
Just square off, rope off a corner. Just like start doing burpees.
You never know. Maybe it's pizza day. They give you pizza and donuts while you're working.
Look,
on
I used to go to Planet Fitness, and I would get a Tootsie Roll every time I would leave.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I just
Maybe
go to
Tootsie Roll.
maybe we'll call you Tootsie Roll now.
I worked out before
Oh my God! Please don't call me that.
before CrossFit.
gonna be
I had a
so
Planet Fitness gym membership because it was cheap, and I was
It's
in
cheap.
college.
It's $10.
It's
Yeah.
$10, and I would go in there. I would run. I would do just lift a little bit, but
Yeah. It's not the same now. Once you get into CrossFit, it's hard to go back to something like that.
Yeah.
there's no
Like I
way.
felt like I was thriving at that point when I did that.
Yeah.
It works for some people.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
I mean, I commend somebody if that's all they do is
Yes.
go there and work out. Awesome. If that's
Yeah.
your thing, do it. It's better than doing nothing.
That's a
Completely
fact.
agree.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. If you're on a budget and you can't afford a lot, that's probably
Yeah,
your
it's
best
probably your
option.
best bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
That's
But
so
there's also
true.
stuff you can do. I mean, there's so much you can do with like street parking kind of
Oh, yeah.
revolutionized. That's like doing stuff at home. And with COVID, that was a big thing, like doing your own workouts at home. So like you
Yeah.
could still do CrossFit and not pay $150 a month for a gym membership.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say if that's what like scares you away, at least give it a try.
Yeah.
You know, like
It doesn't take much. You only need a little bit. If you have a couple dumbbells, a barbell, some
Right.
upper plates, jump
Yeah.
rope, you can do a lot.
You can do a lot. Yeah.
You know, and you can slowly build up.
yep.
I got lucky too because I was already kind of building stuff up. I already had a rig outside. I don't know if we already had a pegboard.
Oh, wow.
We didn't have jerk walks at the
Nice.
time.
At
But
your
then-
house?
Yeah.
Let's
And then
go.
the owner of Tidewater, when we were closing, he let me bring an assault bike home, a rower because I had got rid of the rower because nobody was
That's
using
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
And we had enough stuff that
Yeah.
made it work. And then now I just have the C2 bike.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that thing can get
You don't like that
brutal.
thing?
If I
that
had
thing will hammer
That
your
thing.
quads.
if I
Oh
had
my
one
God.
piece of equipment, it would be if I had an apartment and that's all I could fit.
C2
then
bike.
C2 bike.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
That's why I tell people when people ask about what to get, I tell them C2 bike or a rower.
Yeah, that's fair.
And when they
Yeah.
ask why, I said, well, they don't beat you up. And you can do a lot. You can just get on it and do like zone 2 and watch
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
the football game.
Yeah.
Rower is definitely more full body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you get core, you get arms, you get lats,
Yeah, legs, quads.
everything.
Yeah, there's a couple people in the office that have gotten rowers, and they're like asking me about it. And I tell them what videos to follow on YouTube.
Yeah.
And hey, just make a video, show me, and I can give you some tips or whatever.
Yeah.
And they showed me their 2,000 meter row the other day, and they're like, "Is this good?" I'm like,
Yeah, it's great.
Well,
Yeah,
just sitting there
sure.
like a nine, like a nine,
well,
9
it
minute
was like 11
2K.
minutes. And they're like, "Well, what'd you do?" And I'm like, 7:06.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, I will say like rowing a 2K
And I
is
probably could have gone faster. I don't know.
the worst. I hate a
is,
that you
2K.
can
is
do.
the absolute worst. Every time I see that, I just
I
like
puke.
Yes.
I hate it.
bark in my mouth a little bit.
The Navy changed their PT test. They made that as an option instead of running to do a 2K row.
Did they actually?
Yeah,
Yes.
and they
Wow.
were
And they let
looking
this
for a
man
bunch of people
test it.
test it, and they had to have people in age groups. So somebody's like, hey, why don't you go do it? And being the token old guy, they're like, you do CrossFit.
token
I'm like,
old guy.
I'll go do it.
What's passing?
It depends on your age group. I
And you
think
get like an 80,
younger guys,
90% or something.
It's a score out of 100 points
Yeah.
for each event you do. Now it's push-ups, plank, and then the cardio piece, right? I think passing's like a 9:45 2K.
Oh,
I didn't know they didn't have any time specified at the
One
time.
leg.
They were just testing.
Testing it, yeah.
So I did it in like 7:06, and I was only mad because I think I could have gone
Could've
sub
gone
7,
faster.
right?
Oh.
Yeah.
But anyway,
6 seconds is a
so
lot
when
on
I
a
came back to the
2K.
office,
It
they're
is.
like, "Hey, how'd it go?" And I told them, and they were all mad. They're like, "You're screwing it up for everybody."
Harder.
And here, I'll tell you a quick story about this. So it was my very last PT test I had to do, right? And they tell you the whole career I'd always got outstanding or excellent, right? Just so you don't have to mess with nothing. And a few years ago, the Navy came out with the thing, if you got an outstanding or excellent, you only had to do the test once a year.
Oh,
Because
not
at that time in my
twice?
career, I was like, why am I, it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I would still being competitive, right? Well, when they said you only had to do it once a year, I'm like, there's a goal. So anyway, so I go to do my last test, and they said, hey, because you're getting ready to retire, you don't want to blow it out the water when you go to retire if you're claiming medical stuff, right?
Oh.
So, and I had just had shoulder surgery, so I was waived from the push-ups and the plank. I could do planks, but my doctor's
Yeah.
like, no, but if you do one event, it doesn't cause problems, right?
Yeah.
So I still rode. So I get on the rower, and there's a young guy next to me, and we start rowing, and I'm thinking, what kind of pace am I going to do? I'm like, and I looked at the scores, and just good was like an 8:20. I'm like, oh, I just
Okay.
casually row here.
Yeah.
2-minute sub
Yeah,
pace.
you'll be
good.
fine.
And so I'm just sitting there rowing, I'm watching my stroke rate, just got it going, and this kid next to me is just he starts
Cranking.
out just like yanking.
He's
it,
in trouble.
Right?
He's in
I was
trouble.
like, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, you're screwed, and he's just like collapsing, and like doing the same the whole time. So I get down and I'm like. And one of the young kids that works for me, and I wasn't being arrogant or nothing. And this guy's, he's still going, and now he's dying.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's just like barely pulling it.
I've
right?
been there.
So I get off, and one of the young kids that work for me was like, "Hey, Mash, that was really good." I'm like, "Nah, not really, but thanks."
But thanks,
So
yeah.
I'm standing there and I'm looking at the guy's screen, and I look at the guy that's in charge of his PT test because they were from a different command. I was like, "Hey, man, what time does he got to get?" And he looks, he's like, 9:45. And I look at his meters, and I look at his time, and he was like at 9:15.
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
and I leaned over, I said, "Dude, you better pull the you-know-what out of that thing, or you're about to fail." And so after,
Oh,
he
my
barely passed.
God.
He pulled it and got past 2,000 meters, whatever his time was.
Yeah.
With like 2 seconds to go.
God
And then-
bless,
and
I would
like-
be
And then
stressed.
he's doing his feet were stuck in it, he couldn't get off.
God.
So I went and talked to the guy that was in charge. I said, and I asked the kid, I said, "Have you ever rode before?" He goes, "No." And I went to the dude, I was like, what are you doing?
Why do you let him do that?
Yeah, like there's other options. You could ride the bike. Like
Really?
there's a bike. You can ride a bike, and depending what you weigh in at, they say you got to burn this many calories in 12 minutes.
Oh my God.
And you can
The
gain
bike
that
is-
one because literally
good.
all you got to do is set it to like 16 and just go. And then as soon as your calories hit, you just have
You're
to
done?
stay on it for 12 minutes. You can just then ease down and then
Yeah.
depending what you get
Pedal.
is your score.
Yeah.
I've seen people that never work out pass it with the bike. They used to have elliptical as an option too.
Stop
Wow.
it. There's a lot of things that I want to say, but that's,
Yeah.
come on.
That's the worst piece of exercise equipment ever made.
Thank you.
But anyway. Or of course you can go run a mile.
I love that
Yeah.
thing.
Anyway, that was the rowing thing.
Yeah, I can imagine you're on the
so
elliptical
easy.
a
But it
lot.
was just funny. I'm over here, 47 years old, just like pacing out, just casual, and this guy's murdering himself, and by the end, he's just dying.
Poor
That reminds me
guy.
of the open workout, the rowing at the end. Well, was rowing
Which one?
the one with the
The-
muscle ups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or you finished,
That
you
was
went
a
back to
good
the
one.
top.
So
Yeah.
we did that together, and we were across from each other,
And we're
both
staring
just-
each other in the eyes.
We were both
So
just
awkward.
dying. It was like the worst feeling in the world, and you
Yeah.
just don't know
It
what to
was-
do.
it
Do this
was-
again?
Well,
I
'cause-
don't know what
well,
that's
'cause
like,
you,
so.
you get off of the rings and you go back to the row, and then you realize you still have like 2 minutes left, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I have to row with.
Well, it's because you're like, I know I can do 20 muscle ups, but you're trying to do 20 muscle ups already that fatigued,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and trying to do it fast,
yeah.
Yeah.
and then you get that done, and that's
Yeah.
an accomplishment, and you have to go back on the road.
Like everyone's cheering for you, but you're like, shush.
I
have
can't
to
do
go
it.
back.
yeah.
Why wasn't this just one time?
Just once. Yeah.
So true.
So like I will say, like people yelling like that during workouts, it definitely, like, I hear that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think I will say it has helped in certain cases. That's like the same concept as like working out with a group, with people, the energy and the vibes. But yeah, with those kinds of moments, like,
I'm like,
I don't hear
shut
anything. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, I'm trying as hard as I
I'm
can.
dying. Yeah.
If
I always find I can only hear usually one voice. Like,
Really?
for whatever reason, like everything does go dark.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there'll be like one person, and like at that comp we did over there,
Mm-hmm.
when I was doing the snatches, I could only literally hear your voice. telling
Well,
me
it
to
is
catch
loud,
that guy.
so
And I felt like I literally thought you were sitting on my shoulder, like I'm gonna hit you with the barbell.
I'm like, look,
But
you
I
gotta
found that
go.
there's usually one voice I can hear.
I'll never forget, we were doing that handstand walk workout for quarterfinals at the big house. And I remember, like, this goes along the lines of, like, I'm really trying as best I can. Like, you don't need to yell at me. I don't take very well when people yell at me. And somebody's like, you're fine, you look great. And I'm like, I look over, I'm like, my fucking arms are tired. Like, I can't go. I don't know, but
Let's hear it.
I just remember like looking over and being like, you don't know how my arms feel. Like, I cannot go any faster.
And there's no way I look good right now.
Yeah.
And I feel terrible
Are you
afterwards,
talking
but
about
I'm
the
like,
quarterfinal workout?
yeah.
That you
The first
retested?
time we did it, I remember someone's like, you look great, you're doing good. And I'm like, you don't know how my arms feel.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
I will
dying
say
over here.
That was that workout, retesting it. Well, after going through it the first time, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
obviously we can do better. Obviously, I know you can do better. And we retested it, and you did a lot better, and proved to yourself that
Yeah.
you could do it, which was cool. But it
That's
also was like the moment where I was like, she got it. You know,
Yeah.
she's got what we're
That was
looking
a tough
for.
one to come back for. I hate that. I hate feeling like that's why I like being on a team, but also it's hard mentally when you feel like you've let other people down. I hate that feeling. But I will do anything not to let other people down. But like if I'm working out by myself, I'm like, 6 intervals, I'll just do 5.
If we didn't reach that workout, there would have been a very good chance that we would have.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of teams, let's talk about how did you guys end up becoming a team?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I have one more question
Okay.
before we do that. How did you two meet? Because I don't think you either broached that.
Yeah, so we both went to CNU.
Grinder?
We didn't know each other at CNU. We didn't know each other at all, right?
No, he's a
CNU.
little. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how old are you?
I'm 20. I'll be 29 here in November.
How old are you?
And I'll be 34 in November.
When'd you start getting gray hair? I'm not making
A few
fun of you.
years
Look at
ago.
mine.
A few
Look at
years
mine,
ago,
dude.
dude.
Years
That's why it's like, yeah.
Look,
Say-
Sam pulled out a white hair out of his beard earlier this week.
Sam ain't got nothing on us. You can shut up.
Yeah, the gray hair.
We
Sort
got
of,
problems.
He was like, Melissa, look at this. I know. I'm like, yeah, come on, you look distinguished. Yeah.
yeah, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, started coming in, and then it just came in waves and kept.
But
coming
what
and
is your
coming and
license
coming.
plate?
My license plate, salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
When I didn't know him, and he was.
Did you
Well,
think he was so
pulling up
arrogant?
to- Yeah. Well, no, I was like.
That was my old license plate though.
his old license plate left here.
Viking Lord.
Bike and his car was so loud, so
Yeah.
I was.
Oh my gosh,
Viking
really?
Lord's here.
The Viking Lord is
What
here.
kind of car was it?
So
What a loser.
I still have it's in the shop right now. I should get it back soon.
Stop
But I have
it.
a,
That's going in the clips, man.
Did it just go back?
It's been in the shop for like over 2 months now. But I have a 2019 STI, and I put a ton of money into it. It's my baby. But we have 2 other cars, so like it's fine. It's in the shop. But when I was going to Sogo, I would always drive it there. So it's a little loud. It's a little loud. My old license plate used to be Viking Lord because I had like side of my head was shaved and this top was longer, and it was too long to like just let fly, so I had to bun it up.
And you were watching Vikings on
Oh,
Netflix.
And I was
I
watching
forgot about that.
Vikings is
Okay.
actually one of my favorite shows. Yeah.
I do not like
Did
the
you ever do the
fun.
Viking braid for a comp?
No, I never did.
Should've.
I
That'd
couldn't.
be gangster.
It was never long enough
This
to like.
podcast is going off the rails. I love
We're
it.
done.
It was never long enough to braid, but it was long enough to be like I can't just let it hang out because it'll be everywhere.
Sounds like it should be a goal for next year at semifinals.
Oh my gosh,
Show
Show
please
up with the
do
Viking braid.
not.
I would always wear hats. I would always wear hats so in workouts it wouldn't
flop around.
muscle ups or anything. It wouldn't flop around. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I did not like it. It was too much to maintain. I don't know how girls do it.
Mm.
It's way too much to maintain.
My hair gets so hot. It's like,
Look, I'll be on the bike like this. Please get it off the back of my neck. It's so hot.
That's why I shaved my beard off, because it was hot.
Yeah, I can see that.
It just got hot. So it's going to be my winter move.
All right.
I don't think I'd ever shave my beard.
I feel like you would look like a baby.
Yeah, I didn't start growing like a bunch of facial hair until after college. So in college, when I started getting facial hair, I was proud of it. You know, I had a chin strap. So I was that guy. I was that guy with the chin strap
and a douche knot. Let's go.
Well, I didn't have the douche knot until later, but yeah. I have pictures of me with a chin strap. Chubby Justin
Bless
with a
it.
chin strap.
Aw.
I was
So
like,
how'd you guys meet at the gym?
sorry.
Yes, we came off
Sorry,
the
I'll bring
rails.
it back.
Alright.
we met at Sogo.
Yeah, we met at Togo. He,
So you started at RVA, and you
Yeah.
started at
so I was at James River CrossFit.
James
and then
River.
went to Push and Weight,
Push and Weight. That's right.
Which
Okay.
is in
which is in
Powhatan, yeah.
Tyler Cox is the head coach there.
and I did quarterfinals and semifinals at Sogo.
At
So
Sogo.
that's how I
Where
kind
was
of
gonna go. Yeah, so I'm literally like, this is that year I was getting decent, and he shows up. I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah. Who was this Viking lord?
And
you were like, I thought I was the best athlete in the gym.
no, I did not. Big old Russian was.
Oh yeah, Marcus.
Yeah, and he's an awesome guy. But Hector was one of the owners at the time at Sogo.
Yeah, him and Rachel were co-owners. Yeah.
And he told me, he was like, yeah, this Justin guy's coming to do his like semifinal stuff because of COVID. So I'm like, yeah, this guy. So he shows up, and I'm like, okay, all right, he's pretty big. and he starts doing the workouts, and I'm like fangirling hard.
Aw, that's
I
cute.
don't even know if I ever told him that, but yeah.
You never told me that, no.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy's so cool. And then I think he was being a good sport and talked to us.
Signed autographs.
Talked to us peons. And,
Oh, God.
we hit it off, and he started coming in more for like Saturday stuff. And we
Yeah.
started working out more.
That's kind of how it started. It was a Saturday workouts, Saturday teamers, and then I was like, oh, let me come in a couple of days of the week.
So that was what, 2020?
COVID.
Okay,
Yep.
COVID year. Okay.
So did you guys do the kilo together after COVID?
And that was Perks.
Perks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Josh
yeah.
Yeah, because that was the first time I saw you. You were very kind of humble and unassuming, like, but just crushing it out there. I was like,
So that was.
I just assumed you were all like my age too, because of the gray hair. Too. I was
Yep,
like, oh,
yep.
Yes, another old
So-
guy
Let's
killing it.
go.
Kilo was, I think that was shortly after. It was a few months after individual semifinals that year, because that was in 2020.
I think so. I think it was the first. It was their comp that kept moving because of COVID. I think.
Yeah, because I know the next
It was
year.
in the end of the year, right? It was near the end of the year.
I think so.
Fit us to the coast first, didn't we?
No.
Kilo? No, because Kilo was before the year ended. Fit Us to the Coast was the following
Yeah.
year. So yeah, Kilo was. That was the first and only time I've ever done that competition, but it was really fun. And Perks asked me to do that,
Prize.
and I was like, yeah, I didn't actually know about the prizes beforehand, but was like pleasantly surprised because it was a like awesome grab bag with like all these proteins and supplements and discount codes, gift cards, like all kinds of stuff. So it was pretty cool. But that was like a few months after semifinals when I felt like I was in really good shape for semifinals, and I kind of, just like this year, I kind of like took a step back with training, kind of relaxed on my macros,
Yeah.
just enjoyed life a little bit. So that was like my first comp after semifinals, like being like, okay, let's start getting back into things and start training again. And we did pretty well. So it was fun.
So like most people, you met in the gym.
Met in the gym, and then I don't know when we started talking about the team thing. I think it was,
I think Rachel brought it up actually. He was asking us about the team.
yeah, I had kind of thought about it, but never thought about like who would be on the team or the logistics at all.
Yeah.
It was just kind of it just kind of naturally happened.
My knee hurts.
So you guys
Nancy.
went down there the year before last with 2 other female teammates.
Yep.
So let's talk about how'd you guys get linked up. You've already kind of told me the story, but
Yeah.
Kayla and Rachel.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so-
with Melissa.
This past year.
Yeah, it's good to hear y'all's
Well, we
side
met-
of the story.
Yeah. So with
Don't embarrass me.
No,
Peeves,
embarrassing.
I know Peeves said when she her first impression of me was big and scary, intimidating, unapproachable.
Very scary.
Which I can see, because I just
Yeah.
know the
Your
feeling.
license plate said Viking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Not that I saw that.
I've
but
met, there's so many athletes, and I feel like this happens in every sport, but there's so many athletes that on the surface level you don't know them. They seem very unapproachable
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
their.
Well, you're doing your job too. Like most of the time, if you're meeting someone at the gym, like they're
Right.
doing their thing. Like
Right.
it's not a great time to like march up to them and talk to them and see how things are. Like
Yeah.
you're doing something. You have your 2 hours, and then you got to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, well, meeting Peebs was I think the first time we met was before those qualifiers for Fittest of the Coast, but that was when
I don't remember you at Kilo either, but I remember Perks for some reason.
what stands out to me with seeing her like work out for the first time was when she was doing the qualifiers for Fittest of the Coast. Her, AJ, and I all set up on the mats outside of Sogo. They had
That's
like
terrible.
stall mats set right outside of the gym, so if you wanted to work out in the heat, you could. So we had all three of us set up out there with our little cameras filming for the qualifier, and it was a thruster and burpee workout, which is like when I see that, I'm like, gross, no.
Yeah.
It was bar facing burpees and thrusters, and they both killed it. Beat me. Like I was like, I was literally trying to keep up with him.
Yeah, you got.
You had a lot farther to travel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ours should be fast.
I was happy to be somewhat close to these guys, but I saw her do that workout, and I was like, man, that was crushed it.
That workout. I have never felt so bad after a workout than that workout.
I mean, it's thrusters and burpees.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
20. It was 21,
It was
15,
so
9
fast.
thrusters and bar facing
Yeah.
burpees. And I remember getting
Quick
done with
and
that
gross.
workout. I threw up in the bushes and I sat in the bathroom for probably 45 minutes. Like I was hurting.
Yeah.
But you have to go. Like you have to go.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry. I don't ever cry.
Yeah.
I only cry when I'm by myself and I'm frustrated, like with how I'm doing in the gym. But I would never cry in front of anyone.
Yeah. I've never thrown up after a workout, never cried after a workout,
Yeah.
but I've
That workout
contemplated
hurt me.
life decisions.
I wanted to add a couple months ago with the.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
Run away. Run away.
I'm going to my
Tell
car.
him where you went to the bathroom.
Yeah, like spraying in the bathroom.
Oh,
with all my clothes off.
yeah.
I was like,
I
can't
forgot about
be
that.
here.
Yeah, got completely naked.
That's a serious moment when you just start ripping all your clothes off and you run away.
That is so funny.
I've also that's only
Ricky
happened to
Bobby.
me once where I've like after workout I'm like man, I gotta poop really bad
Now.
Yeah.
right now.
That's usually right as you got 1 minute before you start, you have to poop. So
Yeah.
So
Right.
so we met Pete, or that's my memory of meeting Pete, so one of the first times, and then actually talking to you about
Yeah.
doing team. Was that you that reached out?
Yeah.
I remember, so last year, Justin and I, probably like 4 or 5 days of the week, we would just grind in his garage, just us, and we would his like trap mix that he had on his
Trap rap bangers.
Yeah, and just so you all know, what holds his speaker, he has a Peloton that just sits there and it houses his
nice.
But yeah,
Peloton treadmill never gets
Peloton
used.
treadmill, never seen it used once. But yeah, so we've just grinded out there because after training, most days we would sit there and talk. I look up to him, so sometimes we just therapy sessions, and sometimes we
Yeah.
would, bring in who we were expecting or wanting at least for that year, and she got brought up. So
So did the two gals you had with you the year before, did they just kind of they moved on for other life reasons? You're the year before.
Rachel and Kayla. Yeah. Well, I think we kind of did we talk to them afterwards? Kind of like I don't remember. I know Rachel wasn't interested in competing anymore. And Kayla probably was. She's
But she wanted to go with the original.
Mhm.
And then,
yeah. She also had injury issues.
Yeah.
She's dealing with some stuff now too. So,
yeah, I think we just decided it was right best. just to
But-
go separate.
kind of naturally with me and him, like we started working out together and realized like pretty quickly that we sync up really well and like we're
Yeah.
on the same page a lot. So and then we did Fittest of the Coast 2 years ago as a team, and that was a lot of fun. And we did the next year.
Was that y'all's first comp together?
I think it was
I didn't know that.
And pretty sure we won every single event.
the first year.
Yeah, the first year.
I don't remember. This past year we were like, oh, we're gonna crush, and then we started off a little rocky because we got like
Yeah, the running workout.
there was another team that had some big guys.
Yeah.
And any sort of lifting event, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's 275 clean and jerks, like a bunch of
that's
them.
right,
And we were
that's
like,
right.
no way, no shot, no one even comes close to us. And a team next to us ended up getting us by a rep,
Yeah,
maybe.
one rep.
But then we beat him or tied him on the workout part or something.
But you guys still won.
Yeah,
We still won. We were
pretty
upset because we didn't
They wanted to sweep.
We didn't sweep. And
Gotta have goals, man.
Yeah.
So there was a whole situation afterwards. We talked to the judge because they were.
Oh, yeah,
because the way
that's
they had the
right.
lane set up, it was like.
We had to travel
Much further.
to
Yeah.
get to our bars.
So they tried to
Yeah.
compensate for that by having people start further back and closer up. But then when I asked the judge afterwards,
Oh, I
the guys,
remember that. Yeah.
the guys that run that competition, Fist of the Coast, they're so awesome. They're all really nice and they're very. Every time I reach out to them, they're like really quick to respond, and they run a really good event. But we talked to the judge afterwards after that event. This guy was heated. So I had to-
This is the one that you have to
Yeah.
like. Okay, maybe we'll
'Cause
let Papa Bear handle
you all know
it.
right after a workout, you're like
You're
breathing
amped,
hard.
yeah.
The adrenaline's pumping. Like you have no room to have a calm conversation with anybody. So I had to talk to the judge and the head judge about it, and he even admitted like, yeah, we didn't really measure those. And I was like, oh, okay,
Cool. That's
Cool.
great.
Just like-
That could be our rep. Yeah.
yeah. So that kind of like lit a fire and was like, let's just fucking crush the rest of
Hammer
this.
the rest
So
of the
we did.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
the Echo Bike barbell self
Yeah.
workout. I think the next closest time was like 2 minutes away from
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
smashed that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's a pretty defining victory right
Yeah.
there. So, all right, so you realized you wanted to have Melissa on the team.
Yeah.
You reached out to her?
Mhm.
Yeah. Were you pretty honored for that?
I was like,
those DMs.
yeah. So I had already been trying to like find people to do a team with here, and everyone I was asking was shooting me down. And then like Colby and Clayton and I had talked a little bit about doing a team. At the time, I didn't realize. Kind of were trying to convince B to do a team as well.
Bridget.
Yeah, but long story short, like I knew that they couldn't commit the same amount of time as I could commit. So when AJ reached out, I was like, well, these dudes, like, they really freaking work. And like I looked up to both of them, and I thought they were both and still are like fantastic athletes. So I was like, oh shit, like, are you sure this is like you got the right person? Are you sure there's not another Melissa you're looking for? And so when AJ reached out, I was like, well, at least I'll go up there and see, like, and if we don't, like, I don't know, I'm a big person on, if I don't enjoy spending time with you, I'm not going to work out
Make
as
sure you
well.
mesh.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
right personality, like, right, mindset kind of thing. So it was like Thanksgiving, maybe? We came back from Harrisonburg, and we were driving through, so we stopped in Richmond, worked out with AJ, and I was like, okay, like, it was just you.
So that was right after
Yeah.
you opened the gym.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
remember
the
that.
thrusters and like a wall ball workout.
Because we talked
Yeah.
about it and we're like, and I know I couldn't make it for some reason, and,
Yeah.
and we're just like, yeah, just
I think
work
you were
out
in
with her.
Newport News maybe with Aaron's family. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
It was
yeah.
around the holidays probably.
And it was like just the two of us, and Trey was super nice when I got to the gym too, like everyone there. So I just felt really comfortable there too, and I was like, okay, like I can get down with this. Like you're not a terrible person. Like even if I don't know you well enough, like you can at least
Yeah.
get a vibe.
Yeah.
And I think the next time I came up was around Christmas, and that was working out with you and Christy maybe.
Yeah, it was Christy.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. And
And-
again, like, that was the time where Justin was like, yeah, it was fucking easy. And I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I am so fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
Handstand, work, chest to bar,
ring muscle ups.
muscle up.
The dumbbell snatches were fine. And devil's press. Devil's
press,
press,
yeah.
yeah. But I was like, oh my God. Like I said, I remember going home and being like, Sam, I'm in trouble. Like,
Well, I knew right away having like working out, just being around Melissa, working out with her, like it was gonna be easy, because she's a very she's a people person.
Yeah, I do
easy
like
to get
being-
along
yeah.
with, easy to talk to, and I think the fact that she owned a gym and has nutrition experience, like she kind of checked all the boxes in terms of like our heads in the right place and her motivations in the right
You knew
place.
she was serious.
Knew she was serious, but I told the team I had to sit down with everybody in multiple individual conversations. Like, it takes a lot to do this,
Yeah.
and we can't have any bullshitting around. Like, you have to be full on balls deep. You have to be in it. Like, you have to be in it.
It's all right. It's not for this podcast. Isn't
Yeah,
for kids.
yeah. you gotta be in it. You gotta be in it to win it. As corny as it sounds, like and there's a lot that goes into that, right? It's just you can say that, but there's so much that goes into that. And,
You couldn't have anybody that's just I'm going to be on a team.
well, it's almost something you can't teach, right? Like you can experience it, and you can learn it over time from experience. You definitely can't just teach somebody, like say, hey, turn that on. You have to know how to turn it on, and that's what I want. Like that's like I told you with her earlier, she had it. I could see it in that workout, that redo, or the retest. Like you gotta want it, you gotta have it. It's like a mentality. I don't know what I called it, something earlier in the year, and it was like, grit, all grit. I guess you'd call it grit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't teach it.
Like so you realized that you wanted her on the team. You guys kind of cycled through a few other ladies for the team, right?
Yeah, we had a couple. We had one girl that I kind of knew about from past comps and stuff, or just seeing her compete in the past and work out, and knew she had the potential. I knew she was strong. Knew she had the potential to be really, really good. But she hadn't been training that much, so that didn't really work out. And then we reached out to some other people, and by the end of it, we came down to like 2 girls. We were like, hey, we're gonna have tryouts, kind of like, this is the weekend we're doing it. Can you make it? If you can make it, you can. Can't, like, whatever.
Now, was this you pretty much leading the way, or both you guys together?
We all talked about it.
Okay.
We reached out. I forgot how we found Instagram. It was
Instagram.
We just found some different people on Instagram, and I think Bianca and Kara.
So these aren't even just people you see in the gym. You're just seeing people in the area.
Yeah.
Not even in
This
there.
is like Tinder for
100 miles.
CrossFitters. Yeah.
It is, and it's such a weird thing, like forming a team and trying to find, because like if you've been there, you know how hard it is. You know what it takes to get there. If you've made it to the games, you know how hard it is to do that. So finding 4 people who you feel confident that can get you there is so hard. Like you have to do your research, and there's these people that are forming teams. Like a lot of them have these really good athletes all in the same gym or in the same area. Like Florida is
Florida's
like a breeding
good
ground for
place,
good athletes. There's a lot of little pockets like that for good CrossFitters around the country. So Virginia is not one of those pockets. Richmond is not one of those pockets. Maybe Hampton Roads, there's Krypton, there's a lot of good athletes out there.
Yeah, but even they brought in people for their team.
Yeah. So, and I think CrossFit realized that too. Like, it is nice to have an affiliate cup, and everybody be members at that gym.
Yeah, but the likelihood of getting 4 people that, no joke, live in northern Suffolk that are good
and
enough to go to is
very
probably
slim.
And you have these gyms, these like hard work pays off, Comp Train in Nashville. They have the Mayhem stuff. Like these people that this is their life, and they're moving there to have CrossFit be their main life. Yeah, TTT. So like, if you kept that rule, then you'd have all these really good programs, all these athletes that are living there and training together, crushing it. And then you have smaller gyms who are just left.
You don't want to say SOL, but like you're gonna get there and it's gonna be like a light years difference kind of thing.
Yeah. But then it's also, you have the whole dynamic now where you're having to you could reach out to someone across the country. And as long as y'all are all doing the open at the same gym, you could go West Coast, East Coast. You can basically pick where you want to, what semifinal you want to go to if you think you can make it. So it's interesting. I think it's cool because you get to kind of branch out. You get to find new people, meet new people, take risks where you want to take risks if you need to. But it's interesting. It's very hard.
Yeah. Well, it's proven. Like, look at the Proven team. I think a lot of people assumed the 2 gals coming from Froning, from Mayhem,
they would just
were going to
sweep
make that team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Didn't happen that way. It's interesting to see that, which shows you how good he is still at his age, because night and day. So how many other gals who'd you guys settle on? What's her name?
Kara,
okay.
Yeah.
How many did you have to try out before you kind of finally settled on her?
It ended up being 3, because it was Meg, and then it was Bianca and Kara. Christy, yeah.
Callie, again, my cousin that was on the Naval Academy team.
Yeah.
We were like really looking at her. She was a captain on that team. She's a really, really good athlete.
That's right.
Cross her off the list as well.
Yeah, it came down to, filling all of the gaps, right? Like, we needed to have a girl who was strong. We need a girl who's good at gymnastics, has a good capacity for engine stuff, and that's the hard part. Like, there's so many guys that fit all those, that check all those boxes, even around Virginia, in Virginia. Like, but the girls, it's so hard.
Yeah.
For some reason. But yeah, it came down. So we had Kara and Bianca come up for 1 weekend of training, and it was like, what? How many workouts did we do? 3, 4?
I think it was 3. It was a lot.
Yeah. We tried to put all the movements in there.
Yeah. I mean, it was a full day.
Yeah. But it was also, it kind of had to be because Kara was coming in from South Carolina. Bianca was coming in from Texas.
Yeah.
And like, you know, she, like, bless her heart, like, I can't imagine like having the pressure
Oh my
of
gosh.
having to travel that
To
far
fly
to make a
in,
team.
yeah.
And like,
Holy smokes.
and
But
that's,
they all knew that, like, you're coming to try
They
out.
knew.
There's no
They knew.
guarantee.
Yeah, yeah.
and she's awesome. Like, she was very
I do like her a
understanding
lot.
and very, yeah, like I
Yeah,
would've-
she is.
Yeah, like if we were on a team with her, like she'd be awesome. I'm sure. It's but yeah, so it ended up being that tryout day, and we were like, all right, what were they good at? What were they bad at? We kind of all talked amongst each other, and that's how we chose Kara. So, you know, they were both really good at some stuff and needed some work on some stuff, just like us.
Yeah.
So it was just figuring out who fit the gaps that we needed to fill best. So,
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about.
Hey, wait a second. Can we take a break real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just have to pee.
Always. Somebody's
I know,
always
I'm
got to pee.
sorry.
All right. Back from break.
Sorry.
So before we start, back to the story of CrossFit. We're talking about CrossFit. What's up with the shirts?
okay, so I'm a huge hip hop fan, so yeah, he listens to Kodak Black a lot, and we all know he loves Kodak Black. So I was on, I got Instagram targeted all the time, and I don't know why, but it was like these like, you know, what do you call this? This color, the
Like
wash?
an acid wash.
Acid wash, yeah. So it was this Instagram
really like
ad
it.
for these. There was Tupac, and I think there was like Michael Jordan. It's like, I'm gonna give me a couple of those. And I get on the website, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a Kodak Black shirt. So I bought me like, I had like an MJ one, a Tyson one, ASAP Rocky, Tupac, and I got him Kodak Black. Yeah. So yeah, the fun fact was
so ugly.
Kodak's real name is Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, we found that out. Learned today. Kodak Black's real name is Bill,
Yeah.
not Gangster.
Not gangster at all. How would that look here? Bill.
And
97.
Oh my god.
and
It's a child.
and Tupac's born name is actually Lassane Parish Crooks.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
Tupac still alive?
Who knows?
Is this a conspiracy?
Elvis.
The other crazy
Shut
thing
up.
about is he was, you know, like the whole East Coast West Coast thing with
Yeah.
Biggie. And I was always a Tupac fan. Like growing up, like I would walk to the bus stop with my old Walkman CD player with like All Eyes on Me or Me Against the World,
And you couldn't bump it, otherwise it would skip.
yeah, couldn't bump it.
Days were
and
rough back then.
yeah, no, but it's crazy because he was actually born in New York City,
Really?
and he's a West
didn't know
Coast
that.
guy. Yeah. Born in New York City, and his parents were Black Panther members, so he was very big. They were very big into activism and all that stuff. But yeah, he was in New York City, and he ended up signing with Death Row Records and Suge, and repping the West Coast. Crazy.
And then Suge Knight killed him.
And he was the only.
I'll say it.
And he was the only guy, or he had the only hip hop album. Sorry, the first hip hop album in history to be double length with the All Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
It was the first double length hip hop album in history. So it's another fun fact.
That's the shirt.
That's his shirt.
So I like him. I like him. Tupac. If I'd have known, I'd have picked one too.
Yeah. Well. Sorry, I'll bring one next time. Next time.
I like rap music. I just couldn't. Most of it, I couldn't tell you who's.
Who's who?
Yeah.
Does it sound good? Cool.
Yeah,
More of
yeah.
a metal guy, but that's all right.
I'm more of a, when it comes to music, I'm definitely more of a beat guy. Like
Yeah.
the lyrics could be absolute trash.
You want to beatbox for us?
I could. The lyrics could be absolute trash, but if the beat goes hard,
Yeah. If it's fire, it's fire.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So you got a lot of notes from semifinals, man.
Yeah.
Well,
you
just
actually even asked me how much I could go into it. So
Yeah,
let's skip past. You guys qualified
Yeah.
at the Open, right?
Yeah. Qualified, went to quarterfinals,
Yep.
got through in quarterfinals, preparing for semis.
Yep. And you guys got in there pretty good for quarterfinals. Like,
Well,
at
when
the
people's
end of the
scores were
day-
getting validated,
Yeah.
we kept bumping up.
yeah.
Yeah. You guys, we were over here because I think I was coaching, and I
Mm.
kept checking my phone, looking at the scores, and Sam was here too, and we were waiting to get the final numbers in there. So All right, so get down there for semifinals. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we qualified 27th, 28th.
28th, I think.
That's where we finished.
Yeah.
That's where we finished. So we literally qualified and finished the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get down there, and I guess we can talk about the events later. But just the experience of getting down there.
What do you think? Like, did it feel like a spectacle? Like, did you feel this is freaking cool?
So I would say it felt more like that 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, I was underwhelmed.
Well, the difference though is Syndicate was in an arena that was like for ice hockey. So it was, you know, if you've ever been in ice hockey, like a closed, like a small arena, it's like stacked up really high. The walls are really high. You can
it's
get
loud,
seats up high.
yeah.
But when you walk in, you're like everything's on top of you.
Yes.
So there's lights and the rig and the cameras and the floor. Yeah, and the
Oh, that's
I'm talking about
cool.
2 years ago at Syndicate.
Yeah.
How it was like
Remember
In the middle?
Like in the middle.
the jumbotron.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all really cool. And when we checked in, it was like, all right, walk with me, and we were like basically got like it was like a personal tour through the floor, and it was really cool.
Did you get a book bag?
And then
Got a double bag.
we got fanny packs.
They didn't have to carry stuff around in a Walmart bag.
Yeah. And then we get to this massive Orlando Convention Center, and it's like one little piece.
And you
of
walk a mile to get there.
It's the space is huge, so you walk in. There's already people everywhere, so it's not like you don't get like a tour through the thing. We did get a tour eventually, but it was like the whole group, right?
Yeah,
it wasn't
it's
the
not
same. But I think it was just because of the scale difference, like having CrossFit put together these events and only have two, as opposed to splitting up in 4 sanctionals or semifinals and having all these individual groups doing them. It's a little bit different, but it was still cool. And yeah, getting there, we get a 2-pood belt, and that's like we get so psyched up because we're registering, and it's like, what's everybody's shoe sizes? What's your shorts? What's your bra size? What's your everything? So we have all that stuff locked in. We're like, oh cool, we're gonna get some Noble stuff when we get there. We get there, and it's like, here's your belt. And I'm like, I have a belt, and it says Misfit on it, and I'm gonna rep Misfit. Like I have a 2-pood belt already. But yeah, it was okay. And then I mean, it was kind of like you get there and it feels like a little vacation almost, because you're getting away from the house and away from home, and you're with your friends, bumping all my life all weekend,
all the time.
Because I just came out the Little Dirk song. So yeah, for me, y'all want to talk about your own experience? It was for me. It was like, okay, we're doing this again. Let's get ready. Let's rock and roll.
Did you feel underwhelmed too getting there?
Yeah, probably because of the year prior. Like if I didn't know what the year prior would have been like, then I would have been like, okay, it's another cool competition. I think Fittest of the Coast did just as good of a job, maybe even better, as like for staging purposes. So I almost felt like they were probably trying to like save some money. That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
But I'm still super thankful for going and being a part of it all. But yeah, I'd say it was probably a little.
They didn't have a medical team.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
That blows my mind, just from a liability
How
standpoint.
dangerous it is.
That's so dangerous.
After the clean event, everybody was going in there, because everybody was blistered up, scraped up, some legs.
Yeah, because the bars were.
Because the bars are so rigid.
I like the bars, but yeah, it would have been nice to have some like Neosporin or like.
Just
literally
Neosporin,
anything.
I mean, just at a local high school sports game, there's paramedics there.
Well, they have a room.
They have a room.
They actually had
with
this is also funny.
volunteers.
They also had a recovery room. So when you see
the
this,
year before.
No, this year they had a recovery room.
Yeah, but with nothing in it.
Exactly.
The year prior, they had physical therapists. They had.
Well, that's because these individual companies were throwing the semifinals. So yeah, we were in Knoxville. It was in the space we were in, the athlete area. It was right near the locker room, so they just used the locker room as a medical tent. And you walk in there, and there's literally like 6 people there waiting for you. Like I got cupping treatment and like needled and all that stuff, and they were like licensed people, right?
Was it free?
And it was free. Yeah, I
It was included in your.
it was included as an athlete,
yeah.
right? Like, and then we get to Orlando, and I walk in this room. It says the medical room, and it's literally. I was like, I walk in there, and it's clearly I'm in there for a reason, right? I'm bleeding from my neck and my legs. Give me something to help with this, and they were just like, I don't know. Do you want like a Band-Aid or something? And I was like, they're like, we're literally not trained. We're just
literally volunteers. AJ's mom had to wrap my ankle.
Yeah, we're just volunteers
Yes.
here.
Wow.
And yeah, like Pete said, the recovery room, we get there and get checked in, and it's like, oh, sweet, they have a recovery. They're going to have Normatec
I'm
pants.
so pumped.
They're going to have a massage table.
Empty.
It's just empty. It's like, you can use this room to do your own recovery.
Or go cry.
Or go cry. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna sit in the corner by myself and cry.
I would think that even if they weren't going to have that, they should have told people, like, hey, we're not going to be able to provide
Yeah.
these services.
Yeah.
So you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, there was a good amount of people at ours. Like at the East Coast, there was like a decent amount of people because
Yeah.
I think there were so many big name athletes. So
Mm.
like the hype still felt real. Like
Yeah, on the floor, yeah.
Lots of people, but if you were to go to like the West Coast, there wasn't nearly as many people. In that.
It didn't seem like it from the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably that experience was probably much different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, I think, getting there, because like I think Peeves mentioned this in the podcast too. We had to walk all that way. We had to park and walk. So like that was our first like time seeing the venue and seeing where we were going to be staying, competing, all that.
Yeah.
But like so walking in and just seeing like from a distance the venue just was
Yeah.
way less exhilarating and exciting than 2
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago too. They had like we were at Syndicate, so they had like all these crazy signs with the huge like skeleton.
Oh, the
guy
skeleton logo, yeah.
on,
That
like,
logo was pretty dope.
The main floor, like the floor of the competition was Syndicate, which was like again that huge like skeleton on the ground. Like they had signs everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
You know, we had visitor parking passes then. We had parking passes. So
It's
Well-
crazy to think like we didn't pay for parking at the games,
Yeah.
but we had to pay for parking at semifinals.
I'd also say the vendor villages were very slack. Like, but they were all. It was the same way at Knoxville. Like the two semifinals, last semifinals I've been to, the vendor villages was just like
You think
ghost
because they're
town,
charging
man.
too much?
there's,
Yeah.
like area set up with no.
With no
Oh, yeah, that was a
didn't
whole
show
other
up.
thing.
No.
Yeah. But going, because I've been to Wadapalooza, like that's. You go
They
to
have
Wadapalooza,
so
you
many
get
vendors.
spoiled because it's
Yeah.
just like vendor
And
city.
you're spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all packed into that one small area, which I
Yeah.
think makes it a little different. But yeah, that experience, like having all the vendors there and just being like an event, like a real event.
Yeah.
You know, like where other people who don't necessarily compete or just there to watch will actually have a good time. They can
Yeah.
spend all day there and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas at
That's a good point.
in Orlando, it was like sitting in stands
Did you even
because
say
of
Yeah.
the food options were bad? Or
Yeah,
was-
there was no food options like on
Healthy food,
at
yeah.
semifinals. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the main like the food vendors in the hallway,
Mhm.
and they had like some like Chipotle style stuff. And
Yeah,
they had
yeah.
a Chick-fil-A stand in there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we just brought our own food, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
You
It's
probably
kind of
planned on
risky.
that.
Yeah, it's risky to eat something like that.
You never know.
yeah.
I love Chipotle, but you're playing with fire.
You're playing with danger.
Then you might be you get double dragon going. You're not competing.
yeah.
All right, let's run through the events, man. Give me.
Yeah.
I want to hear
talk
y'all's
about-
take on them. Yeah,
So I can.
I like this reflection.
I feel like I just kind of wrote down like the one thing when I think about that workout or see the workout. I looked
the
at
one
it,
thing
and
that
the one thing that
sticks
stood
in your
out
mind.
from that workout. Just
Lead it off, man.
Tell me about the first event.
So the first event I had, you know, everyone was.
Do you remember? Tell them what it was before.
Well, okay, so the first event was the one where we had to do one person had to be on the salt runner, one person on the echo bike, one person holding a sandbag 150 pounds or 200 pounds, while the other person does 150 dubs.
Okay.
That was 800 meters on the assault runner, and what was the echo bike?
2K on
Yeah,
the echo
so
bike.
the idea,
2.5 per minute.
Yeah.
and then it was also worm clean and jerks in between each wrist. Every person had to go through each station once, and in between all the rotations, we had to do as a team 10 clean and jerks.
Okay.
So one thing that stood out to me was that everyone completely underestimated that sandbag.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and the fact that you had to hold it twice.
the fact. Okay, so yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna say is like completely unexpected. And that was one of the points I was gonna make. Is like the whole getting a team together and forming a team is like, and the mindset and the mentality you have to have. Like one of those things is expecting the unexpected. And we didn't know.
From the outside, I expected to watch like you hold the sandbag once, then the next time you're there, you do dubs.
Right.
That's
what we thought.
Yeah.
But they ended up having
Yep.
you do
That's what we thought.
sandbags
So
and double
and
unders
no
each
one
time.
and no
Yeah.
one knew about that until the briefing. So that was expect the unexpected, right? It's not like we got on the floor and found this out. We knew
Yeah, that's
beforehand,
fair, yeah.
but we also our whole thought process behind that workout was not was exactly what you just said, right? It was I'm doing 150 dubs once,
Yeah.
right? And I'm holding the sandbag the next round, or I'm going to the bike the next round. So yeah, it was more dubs than we thought it was going to be. But the sandbag hold was just like, man, going from that to the clean and jerks.
Because it was 200 pounds for you guys?
It was 200 pounds.
I was 185 then. I mean, that thing was
Yeah.
15 pounds more than what I'm shaking.
It was tough.
You literally were shaking.
So it didn't matter. I don't know if you guys went back and watched, like, even like those top teams that ended up winning, they were struggling.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody was trying to find a way to
yeah,
like.
but each judge was so much different. We could touch on the judging.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that was my
Well,
next
but
point. Yeah.
There are some people you could tell they were curtsying. So
Yeah,
like,
which
it
they
was-
told you you couldn't
the weight
do,
was
and-
sitting in their hips.
Yeah.
Compared to our judge.
Like meaning like they were trying to kind of lean
you
back
couldn't
and
do
yeah,
it.
you like sit into
Forward,
it, so it's
yeah.
literally like the weight is sitting on your hips.
yeah.
Compared to our judge, who was doing it technically, I guess how you're supposed to be doing it, but
Straight up.
it is literally all in your grip
Yeah.
string.
Yeah.
in your
In
back.
your arms and
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. And then when you're doing that, you can't breathe. You can't
No.
take a big
No.
breath.
No.
And most of us aren't big enough to get our hands on it. So, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
big deal.
So like the first set or round or when the workout started, I was on dubs and you were holding the bag. So I knew pretty confidently that I could hit 150 dubs unbroken if I tripped once, whatever. But then we get to the judging. It was like I hit 100 in my head. I always do a couple extra when it's big sets like that, just in case. Even for like qualifying like videos or whatever, just in case. And I was at like 152, 3, and look around and she's like 145 or 146.
And I'm like,
And I stopped. I didn't trip.
Yeah,
I
like
stopped.
physically
I thought I had
shaking,
gone
yeah.
over the 150.
Yeah.
I was good. And she said, no. So I had 3 more reps. And then it was literally the same thing. Every single set of dubs. And because you could see if
I
you're
remember
biking or
looking
running.
at you in the eyes and being like,
Yeah.
like, am I not? Like, what
if
is
you're,
happening?
If you're biking, running, or holding the sandbag, all 3 of those things are looking at the double unders.
Yeah.
And the double unders are facing them, right, with the judge. So like everybody can see. And when I was holding the sandbag, I could see and I could help like count in my head when Peeps was doing double unders. And man, every single time she was like 20 off.
I was
Like
yeah.
it was bad.
I was
It was
upset.
bad.
that was hard for me because of the
Yeah, because you
grip
already
string.
and you don't like double
I don't
unders
like dubs
anyway.
anyways,
Yeah.
so
Just
I'm
calm
It was
down
very
like that.
frustrating.
I don't need any more than 150. I'm like, 150
Yeah.
is plenty.
And then, like, granted, we're thinking it's 150 only, and it ends up
Yeah.
being 300, which is another token to that.
Right.
And I oh god,
With the pressure of knowing your teammates sitting there
yeah.
dying.
I remember
Yeah.
looking at Justin and being like, I know I'm doing more. And then when we flopped, I remember like counting Justin's. I'm like, this lady is so off.
Yeah.
then
And
tell
she
her
struggling.
where
and she
you
said
saw her.
and she said before yeah.
Hope
so-
I can count today.
Yeah, on the before the
Before
workout,
it
she was like,
started.
"I'm not good at counting dubs, but I'll try my best."
Tell her where you saw this person.
So and then
was
fast
at the
forward,
games,
she was
my
judging
bad.
at the games. Saw her on TV judging at the games. Thankfully, it wasn't a double under
It was
workout.
not a double under workout. That's
But
right.
yeah, that was crazy. Yes, that was very frustrating. But there were kind of 2 aspects to that stood out to me was having
Yeah.
to do way more dubs and the sandbag
Hold.
being underestimating the sandbag hold, and then the judging just. But the judging is one of those things you're going to see every single
Yeah,
competition.
you can't really
Yeah.
change
If
that.
it's not you, it's some other team or some other person. Inconsistencies with how people want to uphold the standards is like it's completely up to you, up to the judge, right?
Right.
You can't do anything about it if you
You
complain
just got to
about
work
it.
within it.
Yeah,
And I think the only thing
it's
that,
all
like,
you can do.
Like learning from that, like I will have, if and when we make it back to semis, I will have someone video every workout.
That's what we were just.
Yeah,
Because like the team
AJ
after
and
us,
I
I
was
think I
just
told you
talking about
this,
the
right?
way
The
here.
team after us like totally changed their placement when they went back and took out all the extra double unders
Yeah.
they did. And that was like, you don't think that you need to do that, but you know what? Might as well. It can't hurt. Like, especially if it's going to take someone from like a 30th place finish to a 10th place finish. That's a big deal.
I don't
Yeah.
like counting double unders either, but I don't know how you screw it up that bad.
Yeah. I mean, like a few reps here and there, but
Yeah.
I think the problem with her counting is that she was like a lot of people when they do large sets of double unders, they'll be like, count to 10 and then put a finger up. That's 10.
That's
count
what
to
I do.
20 fingers, so you can keep
I
track
count
on your
and then
hands.
say 20, 30.
Right. She was counting the full
78,
number
79,
in her head.
80.
Yes. So it wasn't like 70, all right, 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
yeah.
80. It was 81, 82, 83, 84. So I can imagine if that's how you teach yourself
You're
to count, you're
slower,
going to mess
yeah.
up.
Yeah. And then you
Um,
have to make sure, too, as a judge, every time if they stop or trip up, you say where they're at.
That
86.
moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just stare at like, I'm just waiting.
And one thing, like with me individually, when I do that, like I'll always count the last rep, even if I trip, and then I'll just like in my head subtract
yeah.
one. Like that's how, because I always count it. I can't help it. I have to count that last one. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I tripped on that one, so go back one.
Yeah.
But anyway, workout 2 was the ring muscle up thruster one.
What was the rep scheme on it?
That was started with 3
I like
of
that
each.
one.
Okay.
Synchro. So it was synchro, male-female pairs. So you get to pick who goes first. And you do 3 of each, and then you do 6 of each, right? Or is it 3 and 3 for each
3,
pair?
5, 7.
Oh, it's 3,
So
5, 7. Okay.
3 muscle ups, 5 thrusters.
For each pair.
5 muscle ups, 10 thrusters. So your
right,
your muscle
thrusters
ups
went
went
up.
up 2,
Yep.
and then your thrusters went up 5.
Yeah. And
Okay.
AJ said.
And yeah, each pair.
How did you guys pair up on that?
AJ and
them
I.
two,
Yeah.
Well, how did you decide what to do? Like who to go with who? How did you guys decide that?
We naturally like went with them 2 together and
Yeah.
Kara and I together for most of the work throughout the season and training because
Yeah.
I think the height difference and strength difference,
Mm-hmm.
and just Kara and I matching up more with
Timing
like
wise.
if you take like Peebs is better at gymnastics than Kara and AJ is a little better at gymnastics than me, so it made sense to pair it up like that too.
Yeah, I think we were talking about maybe trying to utilize next time if we were to run that back, utilize the girls a little bit longer
For
ring
muscle
up
ups.
again.
On the
Yeah.
rings,
So,
yeah.
ring muscle ups.
Yeah, because we got into like we were like what around 11,
Yeah, we're
and
still.
if we were to try to chunk out bigger sets towards the end and make more sense for us
Yeah.
to be a little more
And
safe than our
like switch
shoulders.
around a little bit more.
We were going unbroken on all the ring muscle up sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
The one thing that stood out to me in that workout, watching the later heats, the top times, were they were crushing their thrusters. Like their
thought the
speed on their
same
thrusters
thing.
were super
Like
fast
they're yanking it out of the sky.
compared to
Yeah.
watching like our speed. Because we
Yeah.
have some clips from us doing it, just like seeing the difference, especially with Kara and I doing it. Because like naturally I'm taller, I got to go.
Yeah,
to
you just travel
my thrusters
further.
are slower, and her like technique when she squats and thrusters, everything is a little bit slower. Like in the qualifier workout we did for the.
Yeah, the dumbbell thruster.
What was the
yeah.
weight on the thruster?
It changed
for that one?
Didn't it change,
It was like
or was it the same the whole time?
They would say- I think it was like 85, 115.
I think it was 115.
Yeah, it was 115, 85.
I don't think it was 95.
No, it was not 95. I'll tell you that. Mm-mm. That means
I don't
you
know,
were. That means
but-
you would have been doing 135 thrusters. I'm pretty sure it was 115.
Yeah, no, I was saying I thought it was 95.
Oh no, it wasn't that light. I don't think so. Yeah. Regardless, gotta run that back.
And then the next one was the assault run bench handstand walk relay that I did not get to do.
That was a great one. by the
Why?
way, Justin.
Just because it tie cap?
I was the last one to go.
Was that the pirouette one?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't really have any observations from that. Just I couldn't.
AJ, what were your observations?
No.
then?
My hold on. I will say one thing. My
Oh,
observation
gosh.
is that the good times were the teams that had girls who could bench. If you could bench,
Agreed.
do the heavy dumbbell bench, because so many people are getting caught up on that. So many girls
Yeah.
are getting caught up on that.
Yeah.
So if you had a girl who just happened to be a really good bencher, a strong upper body, then you were probably good for that workout.
Yeah.
So you didn't really have to run that fast. I mean,
No.
Yeah, kind of depending on where you were. But I liked it probably because I'm ready for CrossFit to get out of just handstand walking and pumps. Like I want to see
The fun
definitely
stuff.
more pirouettes, more like freestanding handstand
Holds.
push-ups, holds. Everyone can walk on their hands now. Like
yeah.
I don't think that should be that
Speak for yourself.
So I think definitely it was like moving in the right direction for like,
Spicing
bigger-
it up.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
bigger-
Yeah, because all the top athletes,
Yeah.
it's no big deal.
That's true. That's very true.
So that was
It's like
kinda
you have to have a separator, and we
Yeah.
talked about that a little bit last week. But not every workout has to, but you need to have some that have a clear separator. And like these are the big dogs, and these are not.
They got a pirouette the other way next year, though.
Oh,
Is
I-
there- didn't
no, I
you-
can't.
could you pick which way you
Yeah, you
wanted
could.
to go?
Yeah,
But
you
I only
pick-
turn left, so
Yeah. They should make you like go right and go
I
left.
don't, that would suck.
Switch it up.
It
well, I mean,
was-
if you want to test people,
That's true. That's true.
like, or have
It
you been
is
training to
different.
do it
Yeah.
both ways?
Yeah, it was,
know?
and they did have. I thought this was really nice. They had like taped out space in the warm up area
That
to
was
do
nice,
the
yeah.
pirouettes, and they made it like the same size, the width, the lane width with a little sticker with the arrow saying this is where you turn.
Yeah.
They only had one, but it was
And most people were cool about like you like running through once or twice, and a lot of people in the back were good about that.
What they gave us for warm up this year compared to last year was a lot better, because last year we had a very small space. It was a tiny space to warm up.
Yeah.
And there wasn't as much equipment. It was like 4 bikes.
I would agree, yeah.
They had like 30 bikes out there, and all these assault runners and skis and a full rig.
It was cool though, like, not for warm-up purposes, but when it was smaller, we were like forced to be around one another for like other competitors. So like, like we were like a foot away from Maderos.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
We were around Fraser and Maderos like the whole time.
Did you talk to any of them dudes?
A little bit. I mean,
No, I didn't. Like I was stretching right beside him. Like, he
Were
was,
you like, you didn't like bring up a conversation?
No, because I'm not trying to be that like guy. Like, what's
I talked to them mainly.
How's your day, man?
I talked to them mainly through other people that I've just known throughout the years of doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
Like Dex Hopkins was there, so I mean he knows everybody. And then like Perrin, she's a coach at Training Think Tank. So I talked to her and her team. So yeah, I mean if you know other members of teams and other coaches and stuff, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to meet people.
I agree, but we weren't talking to like Maderos or like those like top people.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, Fraser, I'm gonna see you on the floor.
I asked Melissa about that. She said not really, because you could tell the people that like the big timers, they're in their zone, they're doing their your thing or their thing, just like you.
Respect.
Like act like you've been there, kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah,
Makes sense.
It's kind of at every level. Like if we had people come talk to us, like I had a bunch of people that because I've been following Misfits for years and years and years until recently. Now we're all with Ascend and Tristan, which we can talk about that. But I was following Misfits for years, like the only programming I followed. So I had all these people that I had met through social media, not in person, who were at this event. And so when you see each other, you're like, oh my God, hey, what's you know? Because
so that was an
It's
opportunity
you in
to
real
finally
life,
put name to face and see them in person.
Yeah, and meet some of the coaches. You know, I never did remote coaching through them, but they do offer it. I just have always like followed their programming and tweaked it a little bit, or picked little pieces from other things. But yeah.
All right, so
Next
you didn't
week.
even get to do event 3. So what's event 4?
Event 4 was the
Maybe next year.
We can run it right now if you want.
That was event 3. Event 4 was the row and snatch, which
Oh, that was a good workout.
that was a good workout.
for
So we
us.
actually finished like 12th, I want to say, somewhere.
Was that your best? Which one was your best finish?
The lift
Okay.
Yeah, the cleans, and then I think that one
was our second
was
best.
the second
yeah.
best, and then
What was the row
don't
and
know,
snatch?
after that.
Refresh my memory on that one.
So it was 5 intervals. 2 people started on the ski erg. 2 people started on the rower.
cows. Yeah.
And then you alternated between lighter dumbbell snatches and higher box jumps, heavier dumbbell snatches and lower box jumps.
And
And the
the-
rep schemes were, a
All
little
over
bit.
the place.
I wouldn't say all over the
The
place.
heavier
but like,
dumbbells were less reps.
yeah,
Okay.
like trying to balance each other out.
Right.
Yeah.
For men, I think.
Yeah, and the cows were
was it
7
100?
every round.
No, it was
No,
100.
we practiced with 100 at Addict.
Oh, that's
It was
right.
a
And
90,
we were, yeah. AJ was regretting. yeah.
AJ couldn't lift up the 100-pound dumbbells.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could.
When I'm broken,
That's right. That's right.
We all know who the strong guy of the group is. So that's actually funny because we were it was a
Gator don't play.
topic. Gator don't play. It was a big topic of discussion with that workout. We were
Yeah.
practicing who
Yeah.
was going to do what. Who was going to be on the heavy dumbbells? We have
More. Yeah, because since it was 5, like 2 people were on the heavy dumbbell 3 times, and 2 people were on
Yeah.
the lighter dumbbell 3 times.
So you could game it a little bit because you had 2 people doing this 3 times and these 2 people doing this 3 times. So it's like everybody can do the work. It's just who can do this faster, more efficiently,
Right.
and without holding anybody else up.
Right.
So it was like the machines were fine. It was like just annoying, right? The box jumps were something where you had to actually be a little athletic. But the way they did the standards for that, and the judging for that was even
was
off
all over the place.
because
yeah.
and they actually in the West Coast, I think they changed it
Yes.
because of the
That's right.
standards. So like they told us that when you're both at the top of the box, or when your partner's at the top of the box,
You can start
you
jumping.
can start jumping. And then while we were in the event, doing the event, it was like you gotta wait.
We got,
Wait
yeah,
to
we
jump.
got a couple
Wait to
no
jump.
reps.
And it was like because they wanted us to wait for them to start jumping back off almost. It was very weird. But,
Meaning, like, you guys had to jump at the same time?
well, no,
No.
it was one after the other, wasn't it?
Yeah, like if Justin was jumping, right, like you could
You're
alternate.
saying
He
they
had
were
to
making
start
you
coming
feet on
off.
the floor and then
Yeah,
Because
but
they
in
weren't. Because
in
the box jumps weren't synchro, but the snatches were.
Because
The
on the
brief,
West
they told
Coast,
us we
yeah,
could start
they
jumping.
were more like as soon as that person's pushing,
They're
this
starting
one's
to jump.
flying up.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
almost knocking heads.
Yeah.
So, but that was good. That was a great event for us. I think did we win our heat?
I think we were second in our heat.
Second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was close, and then.
But we got a lot of TV time on
Yeah.
that one, so that was cool.
Yeah, that's what's cool about winning.
That's where you got the pink hair shout out. I
Yeah,
think.
I was like, yeah. I was
That
telling
workout was
Chris, like,
awesome.
the only time I remember anything from the event was like we're snatching and I was facing the screen and they're like, yeah, the girl with the pink hair, and like I'm watching the back of my head on the screen. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Although, wow,
Yeah.
like, did I brush my hair today?
On a team too, like compared to individual. Obviously, you can't hide anywhere as an individual, and that's super hard sometimes. But as team workouts, there's some places you can hide, and there's always going to be a time where in a team workout where you might feel like you're not doing a whole lot of work, or
Yeah.
you feel like
You're doing all the
Do it-
work.
or you
Yeah.
feel like you're doing all the work. So there was in the workout with the worm clean and jerks with that one, and with the other one with the worm with the burpees and the squats. Like those
Yeah.
are two where I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, And then the ski row.
That's where I felt like I was
Dumbbell
gonna die.
snatch one was so easy for me. Like, I'm not saying easy like that.
Yeah,
It's like
it was
Yeah.
wheelhouse.
afterwards,
Yeah.
I was like,
Okay.
I'm cool.
Yeah. Mhm.
But it's gonna happen. You're gonna have workouts like that, then you have workouts where you're
Right.
fucking
Right.
dying. And the cleans I have on here, my only note is, oh my god. So that was like the best. It was. I was looking forward to that the
It
whole
was,
time.
yeah, that was a good event.
Yeah,
That was
'cause
one
I
of the questions I got too. They were like, how does it feel to be that guy, that touch and go 315?
Yeah,
That
I was watching. I was like,
question.
holy! And I rewatched it today when I was trying to pull clips
Yeah,
off
yeah,
there, and I was like, God, he's just
Yeah.
It was,
freaking housing
that was
thing.
awesome.
Obviously, very excited about that event. We were very
Yeah.
hyped up before. But that again, it was one of those where I was like, this is my bread and butter, and not like the nerves were pretty chill. Like I don't get super nervous
Yeah.
before like comps. I'm pretty calm. But I think that comes from like all the years of competing in sports and like have the pressure.
Yeah.
Like you're in so many situations and scenarios where there's pressure on you and you
Yeah.
have to perform that it becomes
Right.
easier and easier and easier.
Yeah.
So it
Well,
was.
I think as a team too, you guys, you're also you have so much strategy. You've already talked about it 100 times,
Yeah.
and you're thinking about I got to do this, so AJ can do that, so Melissa can do this, so Kara can do this. That your mind's going 100 miles an hour. You
Yeah,
just
you're
want,
not even
you just
thinking
want
about
3, 2, 1,
those.
go.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah,
pop
it's
off,
really
yeah.
important. Do it like the team dynamic. Like you have to know, just like any team, know your role and stick to
Yeah.
your role. If you start thinking too much about what Melissa's doing, what AJ's doing, you're gonna fuck up what you're doing, right?
Yeah,
Like don't
yeah.
do that. Now I've done it plenty of times. Like I've messed up on doing what side I pick up the worm on a clean and jerk, right? Like I've done that before, and everybody has to drop the worm. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's like jumping
Yeah.
off sides on defense or
Yep.
false start on offense, right? Like it's embarrassing, and everybody sees it.
Yeah.
But if you like know your role, and that's why it's so important. I also have my notes. It's like to have a plan and discuss that plan
Yeah.
and go over it over and over and over again. Because
So who came up with your guys' strategy? Was it you guys, or I know you guys have a coach? Was he there?
No, he wasn't there. The team would talk, and then we would kind of call him and be like, hey, this is what we're thinking. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, how do you feel? And also, like, he had a team on the West Coast, so
yeah,
he kind of
And
got to use
individual athletes.
us. Yeah, and individuals. So he kind of used us for, like,
Guinea pig.
yeah, like, these are the workouts, because they wouldn't know either. So it was, they got to see us go first, and then retest before their semifinals, probably at half speed or whatever. But he would give us his opinions based upon the team that he knew did it in the West Coast, and like that team went to the games this year, and quite frankly, in the overall world rankings, when we were in quarterfinals, they were like a few spots, like we were 5 or less spots away from
Yeah.
each other, so they were a good gauge. He would give us like, yeah, I think that's a good idea, or like maybe I would do it this way, which is where the whole idea of like, do we have our stronger people do the lighter dumbbell more because it's more reps, or do like those kind of topics
It
were
al-
brought up.
It'd almost be interesting to see if they flipped, and if the other team he had on the West Coast went
Yeah.
first, what it would have changed. And I bring that up because just last weekend when Paige was competing,
Yeah.
I told her something I need to do more as a coach. I said, even though I should have even went and watched the scale divisions to see how they moved it? Because there was a couple strategy pieces afterwards.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, okay,
Could've helped with
probably
that.
should have done this instead. So that's my
Yeah.
bad. So it'd have been interesting, like looking back, if you would have got a view from somebody else first, how
Yeah.
much that
Yeah.
strategy might have changed.
He kind of took on the role as like coach for us late.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
he'd always been hurt.
This year.
Yeah, he was my coach before, and then I was like, hey, I'm doing team. Like, he would write us team workouts and things like that.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, but it's really hard, and like this is actually something I talked to him about yesterday. He's like, you know, whatever happens with the season and the team this year, he's like, if I can get all 4 athletes on my programming, it just is like a world's difference as far as how in tune I am, number one, with y'all, and
Yeah.
then number two, like how I can write programming so that it doesn't clash.
Yeah, because
So
if
it's-
he's not getting feedback, that you,
Right.
you guys all
and
doing
it's like
the
they
same
would
work.
do a workout and it's fine. Like they're gonna be okay no matter what they do. They can do 100 toes a bar tomorrow and then 2 days later do it again, right? But it's really hard when you're trying to program team workouts and like really want to see where you're at without clashing with their already training,
Right.
so that you're not overworking any one person too.
Okay, so are you guys all using the same coach now this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just started this week.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another question. Since we didn't ask questions in the beginning, Tristan said, "Who hates me more?"
Who hates you more out of us?
He said, "Yeah, out of the two of them, who hates me more right now?"
Well, I don't hate anybody.
I know.
I'm
I
Papa
was
Bear.
like, yeah, Papa Bear doesn't hate anyone. I was like, probably me.
If anybody has some animosity,
Don't do
I'm just kidding.
I literally, oh my god, I think with my first week of programming with him, I got him and, oh gosh, I wish I could think of one of the workouts, but I mean, he has me carrying like 150 pound sandbag, 400 yards without carrying, like in his notes, he's like, don't try me, bitch.
I like this coach.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like me.
And I'm like, dang it, I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so I would like write back my notes to him or like on our FaceTime calls or it would be like, dude, fuck you.
Yeah, like this sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we all agree that this year, like if we really do want to like be top in this, like the top part in the semifinals to make it to the games, then we all need to get on board with
A coach,
with
yeah.
him specifically because you know 2 of us are already using him,
Yeah.
then 2 of us are using him, then he buys in and he buys in like I'm 1,000%, just
Yeah.
behind that decision, and then so whatever we bring next, depending on the circumstances, I would really want
It's gonna be
to
a-
try to push that.
It's going to be required criteria for
Yeah.
no. It's and I already kind of knew the vibe, his vibe,
Yeah.
because of stories that they've
Right.
told me, and Peeves has always mentioned a bunch of times, countless times, how many like her notes to him and like.
Yeah. I'm
um,
very like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm very vocal in my notes.
I'm
sure
excited.
you-
I'm really excited. I think it'll be great for us as a team to have be on the same, under the same roof, so
And
to
I
speak.
think someone like that, like, we all know our weaknesses, right? Like, we all know what we're not good at. But having someone, like, unbiased help you with those, like, he helped me so much last year. Like, it's worlds of difference from where I was this time last year and now. And even, like, leading into semifinals, like, having someone that knows how to ramp you up, how to, like, bring you to an off week and then get you peaking at the right time. Like, that's very important for the longevity of you and the team.
AJ, if you want, you can pull the mic out and just hold it and bring it up to your
Yeah.
face when you want to talk.
I know, do I stink? My feet
Yeah,
do
Peeps stinks.
bro. I took my socks off and I was like, that's a mistake.
I can smell you from over here.
I think
I'm just kidding.
Super self-conscious. man.
My feet are really, like, I can smell them, so I was like, man, I bet they do.
Every time we try to take
Jesus
a,
gosh.
every time we
yuck.
ever try to take a picture where all of us have to get close in, Peeves is like, I stink.
And you're wet, so like you're always
Yeah,
so
Straight
sweaty.
there, man. I'll scoot up.
I am
don't
very,
look weird.
very sweaty man. I always bring a pool towel with me.
I know, I love
gym.
it. I start using your towel. I'm like, I don't think he cares.
Yeah. I don't care at all.
There's
Just
worse people that could be sharing
it's
this towel.
true.
yeah.
That's very true.
All right, what was the next event?
It was the last event, right? It was 5
Yeah.
events?
So we had the legless rope climb.
We didn't really get deep into the cleans though. We talked about that was on the TV. I got a question for you guys. Because you went first each time.
Yes.
Is that the
Well,
plan?
I
That
think-
was you being just stronger and you were gonna.
I was gonna go till I couldn't go anymore.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I rewatched it today. I was like,
Yeah.
I bet it was if you could go for the full minute, you were gonna.
Well, it was that. It was also I knew that I could go for more than half of the time and be good to keep pulling the bar. It was like, I don't want to get to a point where I'm stopping for 3 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
if I have to stop for more than a couple seconds and I can't go right back and pick up the bar, then I'm moving.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it was on, I don't know if it was on the 315 bar or not. I hit a clean and my chain
It was your
popped off.
315. I remember standing there and be like, oh my gosh, Justin's chain just broke.
Yeah.
And you didn't even like flinch.
It
Just-
popped off, and I went to jump over the bar because I was giving it to AJ, and I noticed it on the floor. So
I wondered what you picked up.
you can
I
see
saw
me
that
like
this
picking
morning.
something up. Yeah, that was my chain.
It was his superpowers.
I busted-
Picked him up
Yeah.
off the floor.
I
It
busted
looked like a
4
lot. I
links.
thought, I was like, oh, I wonder if it was like his thumb tape.
No.
I didn't
It
know
was
what it
his
was at
chain.
first. And I looked down and saw. I was like,
You got your chain yanked.
yeah.
That was that was definitely sorry. That was definitely one of those events too where it's like an ego check for me where it's like Justin is like, I don't care who the top people are, Justin is like the top 1% of strong athletes. So it's like, I
Literally.
know that I am strong enough to like hit all those bars, and I did, but that's just me knowing my role in the team.
Yeah.
Being like, I need to take a step back and just let the
Yeah.
big man
Same,
like eat.
same.
It was
Like,
this-
do I want to be out there doing more? Yes,
Well,
but
But
is
it
it for
doesn't
the team?
matter
It's
for the
not.
team,
So
yeah.
Realistically,
yes,
I'm going to get it
for-
once or twice.
yeah.
and
Yeah,
call it good.
and so that was for me.
And I
I'm just
still
like,
gave him like 25 seconds for the 3
Yeah,
bar.
and you
Yeah, and I
got 2
still hit a
reps.
couple, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I think I hit 7.
yeah,
I had 4.
You hit 4 touch and
and I had 3
go.
singles.
yeah,
Yeah.
that shit was
Gave it
sick.
to you.
But yeah, it's just one of those times where I'm like, I just know I need to take a
But that's
step
a good
on
point
back.
of like talking about
Yeah.
the workouts, planning them, because like I was in the same mode. It's like you said, you can't have an ego. Like you just have to be like, this is not my time to shine, and that's
Yeah.
okay. I'll have my moments.
Yeah.
If like you're concerned about that, but you got to plan so that the people like let the big dogs eat, and then you can kind of do what you need to do and like give them the rest that they need. But you can't be up in your head about
Selfish,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
the
guys
right
together,
word.
you're going to have your moments
Exactly. Yeah.
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 when you don't even get to do an event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
what
this
it
was
is.
your
Yeah.
moment.
Hey.
I'm sorry, Justin.
The fact, like,
still feel
warming
bad
up for
about
that,
it.
like, just going back and thinking about, like, okay, yeah, I didn't get to do it, that sucks. And then I was like, well, I sat there and, like, thought about what I was going to do, how I was going to perform,
You know-
and then warmed up for it, and then walked on the floor, got butterflies for it a little bit.
And just stayed.
He
just stood there
probably
with
should have
chalk on my
hit
hands.
a few more clean and jerks, considering he did one less event.
Thank you. I thought the same.
Sandbagging over
I
here.
was fresh for that event.
You were chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I was showing it
Yeah.
to do for sure.
All right, last event.
The
Workout
legless rope climbs with the seated legless rope climbs with
Way up and down.
the wall facing handstand push-ups and the worm squats and burpees.
Yeah. I like it.
It was 10 worm burpees and squats each like round, I
Yeah.
guess.
How'd the legless go? I
So
don't think I watched that
what
one.
surprised me was so they actually cut the distance down. It was
12
It was
feet.
12 feet instead of 15, which is a lot easier.
That does make a huge difference.
Makes a big difference. So I was very happy with that. Like my legless rope climb capacity is not great, so like I can do them. But the seated, we never really practiced the seated stuff. So like doing that in practice in the back.
Did we
was
do
a
it
little-
once at Attic or no?
We did, but the ropes were like, but we came down with our feet.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
we
that was
didn't
it.
practice
yeah,
coming
yeah,
down.
Good
It was
point.
also 15 feet. So we
True.
were doing the. I think when I at least was doing the practice in the back, I was like, wow, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I
Yeah.
mean that's me. I know Gator didn't have a problem with it either.
No.
No, that's a better movement.
I was
for
pretty
me.
excited about the 12 foot. Like,
But-
the coming down was like, like, you're just praying to God that like your hand doesn't slip.
You
Like
fire pull it.
that was the workout for me that I didn't hear shit.
Yeah.
Like I literally was like, I focused on my
But this-
damn hands coming down that rope
What
so
was the
hard.
standard? Both hands have to pass 12?
Feet have to come off the ground first,
Before you can like come above the line. Yeah.
and then you go
Yes,
up.
both hands had to be on or above the line at the top, and then you had to get both hands below the line
Below
Yes.
the line
Before
and
you
feet
could
up.
before
Yeah.
you could drop.
Yeah.
And you had, before takeoff, yeah, your feet had to be off the ground. So that was a little different.
Yeah.
So you're probably trying to time it to grab the line with one hand, go above
Yep.
with
And
touch
then
it. Just
reach
touch it.
Yeah.
And then come back down. So it's just like a pegboard where you can go
Yeah.
come back down.
That was a good, for me, coming down, although scary, like coming from the top, like I didn't have to worry about holding my feet up as high as these guys. Like
Yeah.
I literally could like,
crunch
like,
your knees up.
sit in like a knee up position instead of
Yeah.
like an L.
So it sounds like that one you're almost pleasantly surprised at the
Yeah.
performance and how it
Well, no, I would
no.
say the opposite of
Yeah.
that. I would say that was one of our worst events.
No, I mean as far as
yeah.
how it felt.
Oh,
like
how it felt,
those
yeah.
Legos rope climbs.
Yeah. How it felt was awesome. It was like, okay, cool. We can. It was one of those things where maybe it was going to be an obstacle,
Yeah.
but because of the standard, it wasn't really an obstacle anymore for us. But that workout in general, like overall, was not one of our best workouts.
See, I see those legless from a coach's point of view. Those blow people up a lot because if you think about what we do in CrossFit, there's not always a lot of bicep.
Yeah, like this.
And just because that's just straight deltoid and bicep pulling this way, and there's not unless you're pulling ropes and pulling
skiing.
sleds a lot.
Skiing, yeah.
Skiing's a little bit. Remember, but like
Triceps.
you got body mass.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You can mass moves mass.
Yeah.
So those legless.
It's more triceps anyway.
I wonder what some of those top tier athletes will be interested throughout the year to see what your coach programs for you to get more bicep endurance and capacity for those legless
Yeah.
weight classes. Because I think those are the way they did them are going to keep coming.
I agree.
do.
I
I'm
don't.
not surprised.
Yeah.
I thought they would do the crash mats, you're sitting on that.
Yeah.
Like you do at the
Because
games.
that's a long way to drop. You can get hurt. So
Yeah. I don't think we'll see regular rope climbs as and competitive.
Well, I was gonna say,
Unless they're like 20.
Well, compared to
They've done that.
semifinals in years past, like just from being at the games and then obviously being at semifinals, the workouts were like, I would say that they were lower tier games workouts. Like if you think about the workouts that they did at the games, they did do 150 and 125 pound bags where we held 200 and 150. They did sled pulls, which we did. They did at semifinals, not us as teams. They did legless rope climbs, same standards. Now, granted, they were to 15 feet, so like it was. In my mind, the workouts were lower level games workouts. Like there was a lot of repeats and very hard skills that you couldn't hide from semifinals to go to the games.
yeah.
But do you think they did that for the games for a fan perspective? We kind of touched on it on the other one we recorded last week. Is from an event perspective, you don't have to always use the 70-pound dumbbell for the dudes or 100.
No, I
You
did
can
like that they used the
standard
normal.
in the box weights and just make that super fast sprint style workout.
Yeah.
It's still CrossFit.
Yeah.
You know, I think like you saying like don't do regular rope climbs anymore. Do legless, do weighted, maybe wear a backpack.
There was a lot of people practicing before the games of bested rope climbs.
Yeah, I would say for like as an individual competing, you're going to see way more of those like weird
Yeah.
or more
Odd
super technical.
objects, yeah.
Like at the games is where you start to see. You see, I think each stage it kind of ramps up a little bit in terms of like technical movements and skill.
Right.
You're going to see variations at the individual level that are going to be a lot harder, right? And then with odd object stuff, like they bring out all the fun toys at the games.
Yeah.
But they can only do so much at semifinals. You only
Yeah.
have so much. They do like the pig flip sometimes, or like the what's the push the thing
Torque.
with the wheels, torque,
The torque tank, yeah.
torque tank. It's like all that stuff you see at the semifinals, but like once you get to the games,
Castro's
it's like
programming again, it'll be interesting.
I'm excited for that. I
Yeah.
hope so.
I think he's programming it again, so.
But the last workout, like that, we talked about it a little bit, like after the event. It was cool to just like be on the floor and like taking in the
Yeah.
last workout. Like that was a really,
definitely soaked it up.
it was a crazy moment to be a part of.
Yeah.
it was. But that was the perfect example again of really having to have a well-rounded team to
Yeah.
get through that, because just like with the bench, those not a lot of girls can do those wall-facing handstand push-ups. Like there's a new movement, so a lot of people haven't practiced it as much, right?
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people struggling on that, and that's one of those things. Like if you have two girls that can hammer those things out, you were golden.
Yeah.
Everything was smooth in that workout. Everyone could do rope climbs. Everyone could, because if you can do those handstand push-ups, the odds are your upper body is strong enough to be able to pull yourself up a lot. And then it's just squats and burpees. So
Yeah.
there were teams who had girls that were just really, really strong upper body who just flew through that thing.
So looking back on it, then, what each of you? I'll start with AJ.
Oh,
What,
man.
what did you learn the most as you from yourself as an athlete from the semifinals?
Do you want to think about it?
No, I think so. My biggest takeaway from this year was that I needed a coach, and that kind of hits on multiple levels. But the reason I say that is because Justin and I would just like send it every single day of the year, and we talked about it. We were like, hey, maybe we should like taper off or something, and then we would be like write something up that we would be tapering off, and then like halfway through we'd be like, yeah, fuck that, and just like burn through
Let's
it.
go.
And I mean,
40-minute AMRAPs.
yeah, and
Crazy E-bombs.
yeah, just insane stuff. And so
Every day of the week.
every single day.
Yeah.
And so when we get there and our bodies are hurting and like you know, our knees hurt, our elbows hurts, like we're
Your shoulder
tired.
hurts.
You know, we're relying on her coach at the time for all this information. Not even, it wasn't our coach at the time. And I left that weekend and was thinking, okay, like I think that we are definitely good enough to make it to that next level, but I need someone to do all of the thinking for me. I just am a warm body ready to work, and you know, I want someone that knows what the hell they're doing to tell me.
Tell you when to talk.
Yes,
Tell you when to shut up.
exactly.
Tell you when to eat,
Yeah,
tell you when to leave.
exactly. So, and that's what we have this year. So, that was my biggest takeaway. You know, there was other little things, but that was like probably my biggest thing.
What about you?
Had a few more seconds to think about it, but I would say individually, just like athletically, I would say the one thing that stood out to me was needing to work on my engine more, just my cardio output, straight
able to
output,
maintain.
and maintaining that. Just because of like after the long workouts on the worm, or like when I was falling on the mat afterwards, but. I will give myself a little bit of credit because I'm always at the front of the
I was
worm,
gonna say,
which is very hard.
yeah.
But no, it's always something I've had to work on, and it's just kind of any event, big event like that, those things kind of pop out. So yeah, just like my capacity, engine-wise, conditioning-wise, as an athlete, as a overall teammate, I think I learned that I can't put it on myself and expect myself to do it all, right? Which I've done a lot in my career because I've always done individual stuff, and I talked to AJ about this a lot, was like, I need you to step up as a leader. You know, we've had that conversation before, like, yes, we have, you know, teams have captains, but it doesn't have to be like this one person's just calling all the shots. Like, I would rather it be, maybe you have one person kind of guiding everybody else, but everybody has input, right? Like, everybody.
Like if AJ sees something before a workout, step up and say, hey,
Absolutely.
I think that's a bad plan.
And like,
Here's why.
I want that, and I think the team needs that. But like, understanding and realizing like how important that is to not try to take on the full responsibility of everything, and really try to like,
That's a lot to carry.
and really trying to like, you know, it is a lot of pressure. It's a lot. But yeah, I think that was a pretty big thing that popped
Does that
out.
make sense to you though? Does that?
Yeah, no, I think we've definitely had that conversation, and I think I've grown a ton since my very first year of semifinals was my very first year of competitive CrossFit. So I think I was very nervous because we were with Rachel is a very experienced, you know, athlete. Has been to regionals a bunch of times. Got this guy, you know. So I think probably Kayla and I at that point were more so sitting back a little bit, and I definitely, you know, I can't speak obviously for Kayla, but I definitely was sitting back more, letting him do more of the leadership role, and I was just, you know, I don't know if my word really means a whole lot right now. And then I think this year I definitely grew a bit more, but
A lot more.
you know, but I think, you know, going into this next year, you know, I've been there twice now. Like I'm ready to get more. He's obviously still the captain, and that's what I wanted to make clear with Peebs and Care when they came on is, you know, I think that, you know, Justin, we've had issues in the past where sometimes maybe, you know, too much, you know, two people in leadership positions sometimes clash a little bit. Justin's word at the end of the day is what goes, but I definitely want us all to participate in the conversation. That's how I see it.
I mean, like you say, if he's a good leader in the team,
Yes.
team captain, good leaders can listen to their people.
Yeah, and he leads by example.
Yeah.
He's not the one. He's not like pointing fingers like, "Hey, go get me a water bottle, juice box."
But I think they understood this year and like learned that there's times in a workout, like if I declare myself the captain, I'm the captain of this team, and then I go and I fuck up in a workout, how does that make me look? If I fuck up in a workout and they're all looking up to me, like looking at me like, what do we do? I would rather you
Someone
step up and be like, all right, get your ass up. This is what we're gonna do. Like
You
that's
had
what I
moments
want.
like that too, where you were like, you pulled him to the middle of the worm and you took the front of the worm in one of those workouts. And You definitely had moments like that.
I think we're going to eventually have the conversation with Tristan as well, just about, because, I mean, he is now obviously the three of us as coaches and learning more of like roles and, you know, when's the right time to step in, when's the right time to take a step back.
Yeah, it's also, I think someone from the Krypton, I think whoever coached the Krypton, or it was Caroline Connors, their remote coach, one of the Misfit coaches, Drew or Gabe or one of those guys, posted about their team and how because all of those guys, the members of that team, are all elite athletes, have had a lot of experience. Ben, Alec, Caroline, who was Aaron, the other girl maybe?
Aaron, O'Donnell.
So they're all like,
O'Connell,
the post was all about like having a team captain, not really being one, because all of them have so much experience and knowledge they can bring to the game, and like whenever there was a situation to go over, or a workout to discuss, or a game plan to go over, it was like, what's your input? What's your input? What's your input? All right, now let's take all this and put it together. You know, it wasn't like you're calling all the shots. What do we do?
Yeah.
That's how it should be. I feel like, you know. But yeah, you might take some more guidance from somebody who's had 6-7 years of experience in competition.
Well, as long as you remember, there's going to be times where you don't all agree on one portion. So you just go, okay, let's do it AJ's way. And know if it doesn't work, we're not going to beat you up about it.
Exactly.
We had to come up with something.
Yeah.
But yeah, the important thing is talking about it, having the discussion, being open about it, not holding it in, and like people. And we've had experience with this with you know, people who were trying out before, is like you hold all this stuff in, and then one day it just all comes out, and we're like, where'd this come from, man? Like, you know, like you have to be communicative, and you have to make sure everybody's on the same page, and it's not always going to be like that. So you have to have a game plan of when stuff goes wrong.
Yeah, and like everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face, right? Like
That's it.
Exactly.
and you just,
One of
I
Mike
think when
Tyson's
you,
best quotes.
when you know your teammates too, and like this is something I do really appreciate about these guys, is like when you know each other, like you know when someone is hurting, or like, and you need to, kind of like that clip of the Misfit Francos where the guy like pulls the girl up. He's like, like I know she's struggling her, but like he's picking her up. He's like, you gotta go, and like they talk about the incident later, and like she's like, absolutely, like that's my training partner. Like he knows, like I'm hurting. I think she had like the flu or something at the games, like, but whatever, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, and he knows. He's like, you're gonna regret like being this way at the end of this workout. Like get up, like just like when you moved just into the middle of the worm at semifinals. It's like you have to make those decisions like on the fly, and like you have to know your teammates to do that. Like know when to make that call, kind of thing.
And that's why chemistry is so important.
Yeah.
Because it's like spending time together, building that chemistry. Like
I would agree.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't remember who taught me this, but bringing it from the military, I'll tell you guys to take this. As you guys start developing that, kind of like everybody has a role, you know, everybody's input, never fall in love with your own idea. When we're putting big projects in or do a big op, I lay it all out. I had to be willing to take, you know, otherwise I'm getting mad when somebody's like, well, that's not going to work because of this, or have you thought about this?
Yeah.
You don't want to get mad about it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that makes sense.
Well, it's also
I like that.
it's also a deal of
I think
like
it died.
people giving you where iPad.
Oh, go ahead. No, I have
People giving you problems but no solutions.
Yeah.
Right? Complaining but not offering any sort of way to fix it.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's why if you don't have a solution, you say, hey, I see. I don't have an answer, but I noticed things.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And if people can communicate as a team like that, you'll be good.
And it's like, again, one of those things that's easy to say, but then when it comes to like a big decision or there's an argument that breaks out, like how are you going to respond to that? Like how are you going to react to that? And I think if you're a new team, obviously you have to go through that. You have to go through that crap in order to build the chemistry eventually. But like, it's so important. Have time, spend time to work out
those
together.
conversations too. That like we can get a knockdown, drag out argument about this, but when it's over, we're still cool. Like let it go.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You guys will work through that.
100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like when AJ was like, yeah, we should sprint this interval, and you're waiting on the rest of us to get done.
What, on the C2 bike? Yeah, because I'm the fucking smallest one out of everyone, and I'm trying to get a fucking break.
This was a big deal. Like Gator and Papa Bear were like, and it was not bad, right? Like they're not really being mean to each other, but they're having it out. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, like whatever, like we're good now.
That happened a bunch of times, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
It's gonna
and him
happen.
and I are close enough where
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
We're literally like brothers.
Yes.
So
That's how it should be. That's
Yeah.
what real
Yeah.
humans do. Real men do. So,
Yeah.
All right, Melissa, what did you think? I might have asked you on the first podcast.
Oh.
I was not thinking about it this whole time.
Oh,
Then that means it's coming from the heart. So go ahead. It can be about yourself or just as an athlete.
So as an athlete, number one, like I just need to be more confident in myself. I tend to be the person that's like, well, I'll try, like, but I need to start growing and finding spots where I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna smash this shit, like, and I'm ready for this, and kind of trust that. I don't do that a lot. And then as a team, I mean, I think I speak up enough, but I need to be more, I don't know, like vocal, I think, in workouts sometimes. Like, sometimes I'm like really dying and I'm not saying anything, and maybe that's like bit me in the rear when it comes to like later in the workouts. But for the most part, I feel like I'm vocal, but I can think back to semifinals a couple of times where I'm like, man, maybe I should have said something here and this would have turned out differently. Maybe it wouldn't have, I don't know. But if I don't, in quarterfinals, it was probably a better example of like, I turned around to Kara at one point and I was like, I'm fucked. Like, and this was like 5 minutes into a 15-minute workout. Like, maybe we should have just stopped. You know, like maybe I should have said something. I don't know. But that was not a good place to be. And I don't like letting my teammates down. So I need to be
Maybe you laugh
better
when you say it next time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can be funny,
No.
I'm dying.
It was not a good feeling, and I just remember being so like upset with myself after that workout. Not only because I didn't feel like I performed well, but because like I probably could have saved us the trouble of doing it, like redoing it when we did. But again, everything's 20/20 in hindsight. My biggest takeaway is like I need to be confident in what I can do. I never think that I'm good enough, which is a good thing and a bad thing.
You gotta have confidence, but humility is a good thing.
Yeah,
You know, I can always get better.
Yeah.
She
No lift is ever perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
One workout, which one was it? It was the dumbbell snatches and the box jumps and the rower from semifinals.
Yeah.
And we were all in the back room waiting, and I was proud of Peebs because we were disagreeing on who should do what, and Peebs and I thought that we should have taken the heavier rounds, but it had less rounds, so less reps.
Less reps, yeah.
So, and our bigger athletes, take the other, and it came down to that we were just going to stick with our original game plan, and Peebs and I were just going to take ultimately more of the snatches, and she she said her 2 cents, and it went not our way, and we decided that Peebs and I were gonna, like I said, do the other snatches, and we went out there and killed it. And that was a big turning point, I think, for her, where she was like, fuck it, we're just gonna get out there and get it done. And we fucking got it done. So
I would say what they showed me as a team member or teammate, first of all, Peebs, after seeing her compete, it was like, or even throughout the season, you could ask her to do it, just show up and do anything, and she would do it. It wasn't like you had to like keep something out of the workout, or like she can do everything you ask her to do, and went well.
Yeah.
So that's what I love, because you don't have to like cherry pick things. You don't have to worry about we have this in this workout. Peebs is going to struggle.
Yeah.
Like I'm fully confident that she's going to be able to do it. And then AJ has literally just become miles better than when I first met him at Sogo. He didn't even want to do CrossFit. He was like, dude, this isn't. He was like literally on the fence about even doing it anymore, because it just wasn't exciting for him. He didn't want to like compete. He didn't want
the fire.
I think a lot of that had to do with like what else other stuff was going on in your life, but the improvement from then to now is just like insane. And this guy, talk about like not having to worry about anything. I mean, literally anything,
so
because he can do everything, and it's awesome. Like, and a lot of stuff he's better than me at. So like having someone like that who is better at movements and stuff that you're weak at is really reassuring as a teammate. And like
So that's kind of a good segue to talk about. Number one, obviously for next year, you guys want to try to go back, right, and get to the games, of course.
yeah, that's our goal. Definitely.
How are you guys going to find your next teammate? You're missing one right now, right?
Yeah, I think we're still on the fence.
You guys don't have to let the cat out of the bag or anything, but you guys have people in mind already.
Yeah, Yeah, we do. We've had one person that we've actually talked to seriously about it, and we have a list of people that are just on the list to reach out to. We just have to do
So
it.
you're kind of waiting on this one person to kind of.
No, it's not even that. It's just we just haven't reached out to these people. It's just there. So we found people again through social media, and then Tristan, because he's coach for so many athletes, he has a lot of athletes that are at the level we want, which is an indie semi-athlete who is, right on the borderline of like the bottom half of the group, to, like right in there. And even if some girl was like, hey, top 10 semi-athlete was like, hey, I want to join your team. Like, sure, we'll give you a shot. Like, we want to explore our options. That's kind of what we're doing right now. And then
I still consider it tryouts with these guys. I'm like, I have to prove myself every day. Like, and we've talked about this before and on the podcast too, like having two strong girls who are capable of doing all the things makes or breaks a team. Like,
it does.
So I consider this like they won't say this, but I'm like, I'm trying out of it. Like, I have to prove that I'm worth being here, and if I'm not, then I'm not. So but I definitely don't want to let anyone down, and I don't think it's like ever set in stone. I'm in the team, or at least that's how I treat
That's
it.
the right normal attitude, because if you look at not saying you guys aren't pro athletes, but if you look at, I hate the Patriots, but Tom Brady still had a coach in the offseason.
Yeah.
The top tier people, they go in not assuming I've made the team just because I have a contract. I have to prove the reason I'm going up to bat, why I'm going in the huddle.
Yeah, I deserve to be a pinch hitter because of X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
I think our mentality, the last few years has been going into qualifying for things has been, let's make semifinals. I think that mentality has to shift to let's make the games.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're going to get to semifinals and it's going to be like, okay, we're here.
We did it, yeah.
Let's go do some workouts.
Yeah.
Like that whole mentality, and it's so much more than just saying it, obviously, but it's like, if you don't have that extra mentality of like, we got to make it to the next level, but then there's so much that comes along with that. Like, we have to find the right girl. Like, and she has to be strong. The Pete says she has to be strong. She has to have good gymnastics. She has to have good capacity, and we have to feel confident. I want to feel this next season. I want to have our team and feel very confident that we can make a run for our money.
When do you want that set up by?
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
Yeah. Last year we were.
It's still kind of like, it's just after the.
People are just finishing their seasons.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's at the games, they're
like
already
off season.
Yeah, like they're pretty much, they're not even thinking about that right now.
Are you sure?
Well,
I mean, they're thinking about
They're
it, and
thinking
it's
about
in the
it.
back of their mind, but it's, they're still kind of gearing up to get ready mentally for everything that's about
It's
to
also,
come
since
forward.
we don't all live near each other, like they used to have the 100-mile
You guys have
requirement.
flexibility.
well,
have some
true with like the
flexibility.
rule book not coming out either. Like, I think a lot of we did.
Oh, that's true.
We didn't think about.
When does the rule book come out?
I don't know. It was, when did it come out last year? Like end of the year, like first of the year, or
Yeah.
something like that. But that dictates a lot. If they change the rules, because they've changed the rules every year in the last 3 years, 4 years, like that could really dictate what happens with any of us. Like, especially with Gator being in Florida and like just even we're probably close enough,
for
but
now.
for now, yeah.
So let's say, assuming, we'll
Just have your mail forwarded to me.
He might be moving back.
All right, Jesus Christ.
dropping bombs on here. You find the right person. You find that right fourth member, right? How far off do you think you guys are to make the games?
I think I don't want to say we're one girl off, because like I think we could have finished a lot better in semifinals if
Yeah, I
certain
expected
things
more
would have
from
gone our
us.
way.
Yeah.
And that's how it is sometimes. Like the team, like Pete was saying that Tristan had only finished a few spots ahead of us if you look at it overall. And then if you
In
put
the
us
worldwide,
and then if you put us in worldwide and just stack us up against all the other West Coast teams, like we would have finished in like 15th or something in the West
Yeah.
Coast
I mean,
in
Yeah, sometimes it's
quarterfinals.
just luck of who you're going against. what
Exactly.
Throw out.
Right. So
Maybe we'll compete out of the West Coast.
I don't know.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to be like really confident. Like
Agreed.
it has to be worth it. Like
Yeah.
you know how many
These guys all
hours we're putting
the same
in.
training's a big step.
Yes. We're all. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we us two Joe Schmoes are doing it with no coach. We're just
Yeah.
show up. We're like,
Yeah.
How do we die today?
Yeah, I think the coaching is going to make a really big difference this
I know.
year.
I'm excited for you too. I'm also slightly nervous. You guys are gonna run me into the ground.
Tristan's gonna run us into the
Yeah,
ground.
bro. Tristan's gonna run all of us. into
And
the
he's
ground.
but
at the right times.
He's been awesome. We've all had long conversations with him, but just my initial conversation with him about his techniques and methodologies as a coach, it just all makes sense, and he's on top of it. He knows his shit, so I'm really excited. I know they're already excited. So if we can get another girl and get her on the program with us, the program.
Yeah,
The program.
The program.
Make that as part of the deal.
Well, yeah.
It's definitely on the table. Yeah.
Required criteria, yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have less stress this year.
I'm gonna have less stress this
You
year.
got the gyms are rolling.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing is the gyms. Like, you have a lot on your plate right now.
Yeah, it's really, there's been, I can't even lie, like, there have been days when I'm sitting here and, like, going through things, and I'm like, I just don't feel like I can give them what they deserve. And at least in the last month, especially with the other one doing the renovations and stuff.
I felt the same way, though.
Really?
With
Yeah.
just, like, me, not, I don't know, gym, but, like,
Yeah, but, like,
feeling
your
I can
life.
give everything
Yeah.
to the, training
And I
on top
think
of
that's
being a
part of,
dad.
like, being, I don't want to say humble or, like, aware, but, like, you want it so bad too, but you're like willing to say that I don't have what you deserve to get right now. Like and you have to be okay with that. The last week, I've been like, holy crap, like this is how it's supposed to feel. Like I've had time to actually breathe. I was able to do a class workout today, which I haven't been able to do in 2 months. Like, and it really feels like if things keep going this way, then I'll have I'll have the time that I need to have to give them the right amount of effort and energy. But yeah, there's been a couple of moments in the last few months where I've been like I'm not the right person and they deserve better.
Well, I would say if anybody's right for it, it's you, because every time you talk about any sort of like shitty situations going on or having to deal with coaches or whatever it is, it's always, and we see you and it's like you're happy-go-lucky self, and you always handle.
That's a lot roll off.
It seems like you handle things pretty well.
Chris has told me if I ever come in, I'm not like, good morning. He's like, I'm going out of
that
here
back door,
now.
That bathroom there has a back door. I can get out that. I know how to get out of here. I'm like, I'm out. Nope. She's pissed. I'm out.
I don't know if I've ever
You'll be less stressed. I think that's going to help a lot because you got, with what happened this week. Coaching staff dialed in.
It's been.
Wait, so I don't know if I'm privy to all the plan. Is this gym closing?
No.
Okay.
So we're keeping this gym open, but the other gym, like you guys know, like all of my friends, like my heart aches with people and how things are run and like expectations. But then along with like just coaching in general, I had a couple of coaches quit in the last few months, which really put a burden on me. Like some of my days in the last 2 months, I've been here for 14, 15 hours. And it's just like, and it's not like I'm sitting down, like I have 35,000 steps some days. Like, and trying to do 3 hours of training, coaching, managing people, like there are days when I'm like about to coach 4 o'clock and I haven't eaten all day. And that's not good. So long story short, we've had a couple of coaches like fall into our laps, which has been great, and like they're great coaches. Some people that have really stepped up and have helped me out. And I had an SOS meeting like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I'm gonna kill one of y'all or myself, and like I'm the last person on the list, so like all of y'all are going first. And like if you can help me out, like please. And we shifted some things around, and like this week, every day I've had a couple hours to do work, which is nice. Like today I was able to work out with a class, which I haven't been able to do, and come here and do this, and like still enjoy being here.
This might actually probably be your longest day this week because we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, because of the podcast, yeah. Other than Tuesday was pretty, but that's okay. Like, it's not going to be that way forever now. But things are falling into place for me, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting the deload week next week. That's what Tristan told me.
Ooh, going for Max's next week.
Oh, God bless you. So I don't know, like, things have really, this is how a gym's supposed to feel like, maybe, which will help me feel like I can give y'all the most of my time and like the most of my energy and effort. So
sounds like you guys are on the right track, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you can do is line up things as best you can and
and just like
give it your all.
Go for it.
And if it doesn't work out, you can always look back and say, hey, I gave it everything I got.
Yeah, I like that. I want to leave the season like and just know that like I did everything I could.
Yeah.
And be happy with that.
then you can still always crush people local comps.
If ever I need an ego boost, yeah.
I'm gonna go do a scaled
Yeah.
competition.
Say when it comes time to actually, when we have a full team and we're like ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be like we're gonna have the same conversation we had this past year. It's be like you gotta have that dog in you. If you don't have that dog in you,
Where's
And
Dan
it-
when you need an absolute dog?
if you don't have that, if we don't take an X-ray of you and you don't have a dog in you, and you ain't cutting it, man. It's gonna be grinding it out. It's gonna be it's tough. It's hard. It's so hard.
And it's funny because like I look back on it now, and I'm like, it didn't feel hard like in the moment though, because I enjoy like working out with y'all so much that like when I look back on it, I was like, man, I just thought I was like having a great time. Like I was training, I was doing everything, but like then thinking about the actual hours and like the actual things, like I was like, shit, that was hard. Like, but it's worth it with the right people. Like,
Well,
it's so worth
you
it.
train hard, so it's doesn't feel as hard.
Yeah, well, that's how I thought about semifinals too. I was like,
Practice like you play.
we did like all these workouts in 3 hours of each other, like when we would work out on the weekends. And then we go to semifinals, and it's like, okay, we get a 6-hour rest.
Yeah.
What am I doing with myself right now?
All right.
Yeah,
I think we covered a lot, man.
yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
That was cool.
Thanks for coming up, man.
I know.
You took a
I'm
long
so
haul
glad
to
to
get up
see you
here, man.
guys.
Drive or fly?
I flew.
I
Yeah.
hate driving long road trips.
Well,
I hate it
it's
too.
tough.
Yeah, we know
actually,
Justin hates it.
He's actually been our chauffeur
I drive everywhere.
Yeah.
several times.
Wait. There's a couple of questions that I do want to ask.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Wait. Make sure you ask him mine.
Perfect timer to ask the
I
question.
was going to ask that one.
Time's up.
So, somebody asked, how many push-ups can Papa Bear do with Gator on his back?
Who asked that?
Yeah, we should try it.
Ooh, right now. Yeah. We'll come back to that one. We'll give a video.
How many do you think?
Gator's pretty light, so
Oh my god! I'm trying to get up to
And
195.
Justin's biceps are bigger.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay, some of the other ones that I really liked was...
Wait, change the song. You got them
Sorry.
working out to like.
I'm sorry. The iPad is down. Well, these people
There it
are
is, that's good.
ruthless. So, one of the question was the most wholesome memory you have of each of them.
Of each event?
Of each of them,
Oh,
like
oh,
as
oh.
people.
I always said event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
thought-
literally just went down the
Emily
list.
asked that. You're Emily.
Oh.
Yeah. So I want to say my like most wholesome memory was just like a fun time was when we traveled down to train with Kara for like less than 24 hours. That was like I don't know, like I knew you guys, but like spending in a car with you guys for 6 hours, I was like, I just really like realized that I liked you guys as people even more. Yeah, we were like unsupervised 5-year-olds.
We like stopped and got like ice creams.
Ice cream, McDonald's.
Dr.
Like,
I would say I'm gonna share my most wholesome moment.
Oh god.
oh gosh.
My most wholesome moment was when we all went about 4 or 5 mojitos deep at the outdoor mall and
That was fun.
and drunk shop together.
Drunk shop, then went to dinner. That's what Aaron asked.
and then
Aaron
we
was
went-
like, "What about fried rice leftovers?"
And then we went to Benihana's and had espresso martinis, and it spilled in the fried rice. And
Yeah.
other wholesome moment of that whole trip was awesome.
That whole trip was awesome.
Just literally just spending time with each other in the house
Yeah.
and like shooting the shit. Like that same night, I think when we were really hammered. I went and bit off a piece
someone
of.
asked who really won the ice cream fight.
I bit off a piece
I
of
was like,
Pieces
"Let's
ice
freaking
cream.
Justin."
And then and the other thing was having AJ's parents there.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the they watched Harper so much. His mom was like,
Cammy and Tony are the real MVPs.
Cammy's like a
man.
They're gonna be watching this.
I hope so.
and
I
Harper
love
loves
them.
her.
I want them at my own family function.
Yeah, I love Harper. That and my parents love Harper too. Like I would literally kill someone for that.
His
girl.
mom and him crocheted a blanket for her,
yeah.
and the same blanket for her babies.
Yes, the little mini
she puts all of her
ones.
babies
Yeah.
to sleep on the floor. She puts them face down, puts a blanket on them, and says night night.
Put some face down.
Puts them face down. Yeah.
All right, AJ, what's yours?
Hey, that's your mom telling you.
Hey, I want babies. Yeah.
Sorry, mom. One day.
One day.
Yeah, one
What's your
day.
most wholesome memory?
Oh, my most wholesome memory. I actually really enjoyed the Fittest of the Coast weekend.
Oh, that was a good
where
weekend
you
too.
all came.
was fun.
So we won the event Sunday, and then the Super Bowl was that weekend.
Oh, that's
and
right. I forgot about
Peeps,
that.
Sam,
We had a whole house full of
Lauren,
Yeah, a whole crew.
some other people were there, and
Packed in a little living room.
We had
Like
some
the
of our
size of
friends.
the test.
Some of
It
our
was a
friends
small
from
living
Addict were like sleeping in a closet. My
Yes!
buddy.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
My buddy Henry, I was like, dude, this is a queen bed. Like, you can share this bed with me. Like, I'm cool. And he's like, no, I'm gonna sleep on the floor at the front, like the front of your bed. And I was like, well, that's weirder.
And then what happened? And what happened? Oh
in the
my
middle of the
gosh.
night, his like head pokes up like this, like, and this is my bed, and it like scared the shit out of me. And I like jump out of bed. I'm like,
gonna
dude,
fight him?
Yeah, like I'm gonna fight him. He's like, it's me. I'm like, oh my god. And then just having Sam and Peeves, obviously like my dude. Like it was, that was.
Anytime you get a whole bunch of friends
Yeah.
together, even if you're not that good of friends, like you
Yeah.
become so
Yeah,
much
that's
closer
part
when
of
you
it.
spend the night at a house
That was
together.
probably my more memorable moment.
That's actually when you learn
Yeah.
if you get along with people or not.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Traveling with people, like I will say this until the day I die. I was like, if Aaron and Justin and AJ and Emily want to go anywhere, like count me in.
Yeah.
There are friends that I have that are great friends, but I'm like, I will never travel with them again. But these guys, I'm like, let's go. Anywhere you want to go, I'll go with you.
We did a few multi-family vacations, and I'm like, good with you.
Not
Never going anywhere with you again. Like,
It's true. You just
I
kind of
no
learn that
longer
about
like
people.
you. I thought your kids were cool. They're not. Like, get away from me.
And having a 2.5-year-old, or like whoever wants to come,
Oh my
can come because they're going to be babysitting.
I love it.
Yeah, Herbert's the bomb.
It's good.
Yeah, it was a good
More
year.
questions?
No, those were the two that I like really like wanted to ask. I can't. I'll look at make sure I'm not missing any good ones.
I'll say it was like overall the season was really cool, really good learning experience.
Yeah.
Just overall awesome to have. I was super proud of these guys. I told them after the last event, we all kind of sat down and just hashed it out for a little bit to say our thank yous, say we're proud of each other, job well done. I think it's just a really good learning experience. Having any sort of like high level competition experience like that goes a long way.
As long as you can look back and the good outweighs the bad.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Agree.
I
And
definitely.
you can learn from all the bad stuff. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
And you can, a lot of it, you can probably laugh about. You can tell
Oh,
funny
yeah.
stories.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you won't believe what happened. You know?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. It was a good year. Definitely appreciate All Grit and Peebs and Sam, and then obviously Trey
And
at
Addict.
Oh, yeah, we didn't
Addict.
really cover that. I definitely want to just talk about that real quick.
Yes, Trey
'cause
is-
Trey.
Trey,
Trey,
Well,
yeah.
Addict.
Trey, you're
Trey,
awesome.
Trey.
Bye. I'm just kidding.
Love you.
No.
Trey,
Love you,
you're
big
great. Yeah, I wish we could turn the thing around. So you
Yeah.
could see, like in my gym,
Yeah.
I have a CrossFit Addict. Take it
Yeah,
up.
Trey has been awesome.
He's the best.
He's been a
He's
huge
great role
support,
model.
awesome role model.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how. I think the reason we actually chose the gym was because we had just, after the season was so go, we kind of just left that gym and we're like, let's check
Looking for
out
a new
this other gym and
place,
see what
yeah.
else is out there, see what other athletes are out there. And we had heard about Addict. I think you started going
Yeah.
before.
Yep.
And then I just started showing up. And then ever since like that moment of like AJ and I working out together and like mentioning the team thing,
Trey was
Trey
all
was
on board, I'm sure.
100% on board.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even like went as far as like giving us a key,
Yeah.
letting us use the gym when we wanted to, explaining to his members in an email like
Yes,
that,
yes.
hey,
Or like introducing. Every time I would come and visit, he would introduce me to the
Yes.
class. I'm like, that's so. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to do that. Like, he really
But that's a
cares
smart
about the
business model,
community.
because if he could get a team to the games
Yeah.
and even semifinals with his name on it,
Yeah.
like that's good for business.
Yeah,
I
And
mean-
it just shows like that's how it should.
Dude, he has like the closest knit family at that gym. Like,
Yeah.
like if you're in Richmond, Virginia,
Go to CrossFit
on
Addict.
on that side of the river,
Yeah.
you are doing yourself a disservice to
yeah.
not be going to Addict, because there's not a gym anywhere near it that is anywhere close to the amount
Yeah.
of coaching, the amount of facilities. They have 15 C2 bikes. What other
Yeah.
gym in Richmond has that many C2
None.
bikes? It's
Yeah.
literally zero.
ski
So,
ergs for days, bikes
you
for
know.
days,
Yeah.
echo bikes,
That's like
GHDs.
mayhem level.
It really
Yeah,
is.
it's a lot. I mean, he
and like
kills it.
that is like my home away from home. If I'm going up to Richmond, I'm not working out anywhere else anymore. Like, I love those people.
Yes.
And they supported us very well.
Very hard.
Like,
All the members there,
Yes.
some of my best friends, like,
Yeah, Trey came to the semifinals and watched us. Awesome. He's there every step of the way, cheering us on. So we don't know what we're going to do gym-wise next year. It's up in the air. I think we can make a decision to go West Coast if we really wanted to. We don't have to. I think it's something we haven't even talked about yet.
well, considering Tristan, just throw this out there so everyone knows, he's out of Houston. So if we were to go anywhere besides Attic, it would be probably with him in Houston.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're used to traveling though, so it's we'll make it work, whatever it has
Gator
to be.
will chauffeur, and
Oh, yeah.
we'll hang out.
Yeah, we'll make it work. But I just want to throw it out there. We're really appreciative of Trey and everything the facility let us use, and just being supportive the whole time and letting us represent CrossFit Addict, which already stands for something really cool with recovering addicts and alcoholics and stuff. So
That's awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Hell
I
yeah,
know.
man.
I'm so glad you guys came.
coming, man. We've been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's been fun doing these podcasts, man. It's good to sit down with you guys and learn more about you. And everybody will like to listen to what are
The crowd favorites,
man.
Everyone
You guys-
loves these two.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And when you guys get a chance,
Because you
man,
took your shirt off at the gym.
Oh, my God. Probably. Thank you for having us through.
if you guys ever get a chance, man, come work out with us here, man. I know
Definitely.
you guys don't live around here, but
Yeah.
now I want a road trip and go work out at CrossFit Addict.
So look, I'm going up next weekend. You should come with me.
damn
And Trey and I have talked about getting our two gyms together on a Saturday.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be really fun, especially at the big house because there's just a lot more space there where they renovated.
Does he ever do comps in his gym?
No.
We really don't. It's like I will say this, like every Saturday and Sunday
Is a comp.
is a comp. Like, I mean, you will not find a gym that more people can walk up a handstand ramp or do strict ring muscle ups or whatever it may be.
The talent
People in there are insane.
It's
lot of
it's
really fit
crazy.
people.
Yeah. But he breeds that because you
Yeah.
see people like him that are doing it all, and then that kid that's 21 or 20 or 18 or whatever is like, I want to be like that guy. And he
Yeah.
That's actually funny. There's been a lot of seeing you guys that I've talked to
That are
that
going
come to
there?
addicts. But yeah, younger guys. That's what I love about it too. Like younger guys come up to me like, "Hey man, can you help me with my muscle ups, my bar muscle ups, my ring muscle ups, my handstand walks?" I love that shit because I could talk about that all day.
Yeah.
I go straight CrossFit nerd with you.
Dude, you gotta get down there though, for real.
One of your cues helps them. It's just like makes it all
That's-
worth it,
yeah,
man. It makes that 15-minute
live for it every
conversation
day.
worth it.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Let's wrap this up.
Sweet.
But seriously, thanks for
Yeah. Thanks for having us, man.
Hey, you guys want to do us the honors and do the sign off?
What's that?
No,
that it?
no.
He's going to start rapping Bill Black.
So
My
I
name
need
Kodak
Justin to
Black.
drop a beat. Stay gritty. Stay gritty. That's our sign off.
Stay gritty.
We
Stay
couldn't-
gritty.
Everyone said that we needed to do that. They're like, we like it, so we kept it.
You need Justin to rap something like
Yeah.
pay
Rap.
for his studio time and let him rap you something. To like start like what Joe Rogan, how he has
Oh yeah.
Like a little beatbox?
I know.
our
Yeah.
intro. You
Yeah.
rapping. All right.
But
That's all I got.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Thank you.